What's good, everybody? I'm Casey. That's Akil, and this is the Bacchanal Podcast. Welcome back, everyone. We got a special guest. What's good, DVJ? Jovi.
Yo, man, I'm in good spirits despite the fact that I don't have a fresh line or a fresh cut, but things are going well despite the circumstances. So try to stay as positive as I can.
Yeah, that T outliner, man, it's a blessing. That's a blessing straight from God.
Yeah.
Whoever made that thing.
Yeah, man, I think I'm gonna have to go get one of those, man, and just start doing my own little cleanup. But I'm scared I'm gonna nick something, so
I do it all the time.
Yeah, I know.
You're all right, man.
You live with it, right?
Yeah, you're okay. You learn from
It's
it.
like, it's all right, man. I'll be all right. Exactly.
Battle scars. I
It's battle
was doing my
scars.
lined up right here. Where is it? And then I got a little crazy when I had to redo it. But every time I do it, I get better.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You might as well, right? Because it grows back, it tears. So it's like, as long as I don't go bald, I'm good.
I started with the Walmart like cheap $20 blade. You know, the cutting blade.
Yeah, but
I
unfortunately,
was all
as a kid,
around doing everything, man.
someone did a line on my thing, and it never grew back. So you just have to be very careful of how you do your front. If you're not know what you're doing here, you'll push that back forever. Like you have to know what you're doing with your peak, because my thing doesn't grow the same anymore after that.
Yeah, I have like a little widow's peak, so you know.
So do I.
Well, if this is people's first time listening, let's let them know where we're from and all that good jazz. If this is, their first time hopping in on this episode. So,
Cool.
Casey, do your little
Well,
intro.
I'm in Toronto, man, and Akil's all the way in North Carolina. We're both Trinidadian. We give our Trinidadian spin on things, on music, movies, video games, all around, all across the board, all culture stuff going on. And this is Bacchanal Podcast, man.
Well, you already know, man. I'm from Toronto. I'm a local artist from Toronto. Just trying to do my thing. My name is Jovi. If you don't know me, you haven't heard my music before. And yeah, just I'm here in Bacchanal because I always have a great time with these two gentlemen, and just thought, like, let's get it in. There's so much to talk about. So, like, you guys start when you're ready, man.
Yeah, this episode we're going to be
on.
talking about. We have to. We can't not do it. This thing is a monster. So we have to talk about this monster, the 6IX9INE monster that's going on right now.
Oh, man. Yo,
We
man.
got to talk about all these shootings that are happening right now in Canada and in America also. This madness is going on.
Yeah.
There's a couple other topics we're going to touch on also.
I got a couple of RIPs, man. This shit just all happened at once.
Yeah, man.
RIP Roy Horn from Siegfried and Roy. He died from coronavirus.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
man.
he just died.
When?
Like day or two ago.
What the heck's going on?
3 people just died, man. He died. Andre Harold, the
That one.
executive with Uptown Records and Bad Boy.
Yeah.
Little Richard just died.
Little Richard just died too.
Oh, really, eh?
Yeah, man, that was in the news because I keep a news feed, so I normally try to keep up. I didn't hear about the one Siegfried and Roy. That's brand new to me, but we're just in a very particular, it's a hard time because personally I've had people who have family members that have passed away during this time. And the hardest thing is that how could we mourn these people when we're not even able to go and attend the funerals? It's like virtual funerals. I was in the service and I'm trying to be there as a support, just to my friends. But it's just, it's a weird thing because it's like, you don't get to touch them. You can't be around them. Even in the funeral home itself, there are only allowed 5 people. So it's just like, is this going to be something that's going to be taking place for a little bit of a time?
Yeah.
And I understand, like, I feel like when we do get through this, we have to have like a mass service for everybody. This has to be like a holiday. The day like everything comes back, it has to be like a world holiday where it's like, this is the day that we celebrate all of these people that have passed. Because it's equivalent to like a World War thing, man.
It's like Memorial Day, pretty much, like you said. Yeah.
Right.
It's Remembrance Day Part 2. Return of
you
the
have
Empire,
to. You have to.
Empire, the virus strikes back.
No, we don't want that.
Nah, not at all.
No, you know
man.
our generation. All these
I
movies
know.
and comics are gonna mix it up like that, probably.
For sure. You know it already. There's gonna have to be some jokes because you know what,
Gotta laugh,
comedy is
or else
always
you're
about
crying.
making it light of a dark situation. So I'm definitely looking forward to some sort of like jokes as the time passes as well.
Yeah, man. These the funeral Zooms that are happening right now, where you go in and watch it. It's mad weird. It's
sad,
dark.
man.
And people are a little rude, man, and bold-faced. Some people have their cell phones on still. Some people are they're coughing.
God,
So you can hear
baby.
talking and you can hear people talking, like whispering and gossiping little things on the side, like because they don't know the phone is on recording for Zoom.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? Like, people don't know.
I do.
People are having funerals right now, and they have the Zoom. They pay the $20 to get unlimited people to come in to be able to view the funeral. but people at the funeral, some old school Caribbean people don't know the technology that's happening.
They get mad. But what the ass is this thing?
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Imagine your mom and dad. My mom would be asking me for help with this. If we had to do this, my mom would definitely be asking me to be like, could you guide me? Because I don't know how to do this. But yeah, like you said, and I think to myself, like, the people who are going through this, I can only imagine how hard it is to know that they don't have the community of their family who, like in Jamaican culture, it's like you do something called like the 9 night. So like you celebrate the person's life before they go to the service, where you'll have drinks and food and things like that. And right now that's pretty much gone, like obviously because of the social distancing thing.
Yeah.
Also, when you die from coronavirus, it's one of the saddest ways to die because you got to die by yourself.
Yeah, I know.
From your family, like they can't even visit you.
I know. It's really serious, man. Even in New York, man, I was just taking in like what's really happening, and they have like that island where they're doing the graves and things like that. That's crazy, man. That's crazy.
It's like I Am Legend out there, like
basically.
Like bear, you might see a deer run across soon.
This is like a bad science fiction movie, to be honest with you, man. Like when I take it in, it's like watching Marvel now. And watching like series, it's no, not even that. I'm like, were these a precursor to know what was happening before this was happening? Because sometimes the things that they bring in the movies is just like, nah, that's not gonna happen. But this is kind of like a Thanos to me. So
yeah,
like,
that's what I said. When Banner got dusted away, I was like, this motherfucking thing is Thanos. What is going on here?
Yo, everybody disappeared.
Yeah,
bro. When I
that
watched
was
the
Spider-Man.
movie, remember
was
that
Spider-Man.
movie, bro? The end when everybody started disappearing, the man's like, yo, this person's gone.
Yo, Banner was Spider-Man, honestly.
Yo, yeah.
I watched grown man vex, like, no.
Yo, bro, it was a serious
I'm still
thing,
going
man.
out there. I'm like, yo, you can't go out there. It's like,
they gotta catch a wine on the balcony. I've been seeing people having balcony parties.
Yo, man. I at first when it started, I was telling my friend the very seriousness of this, and he used to just be like, nah, you're bugging. But then we see more and more. Yeah, we see more and more people getting sick. The next time I went to go see him or whatever, because I had to do like curbside check him. Yo, the man's looking around like a detective. He's like, yo, am I safe? Like, do I have, is the coast clear? Yo, people are opening the door to his condo. He's like, nah, I just wait for those people to leave, man. I'm just going to wait for them to open the door and leave, and then I'll open the door. Because it's just like a state of paranoia right now.
Yeah.
In my local news, they had a lady, she robbed, it was like a Home Depot, and she had the mask on. And they were coming up on her, and she said, I'm going to cough on you. I'm going to take it off. I'm going to cough on you.
Yo, man.
And she was threatening to cough on people. And they don't know her face. So, like, right now, I hate to say it,
she got away.
Ski mask season right now because everybody's walking around with the mask on.
Very much so.
Ski mask wages came in.
Exactly. You know what I mean? And, you know, I just really feel bad for a lot of the people who are essential workers because I know that they're working to the gill, man. They're putting in their best for us, and they don't get the rest like how some of us have. But I can imagine, you know, working at home, I've done it before, and it's cool. But after a while, you're just like, yo, nothing beats the interaction of seeing other people. Like,
for sure.
The interaction of being
around
coworkers.
I have Asperger's, and I ain't trying to see these people, man. I'm happy.
Oh, I hear you.
I love it.
You.
I ain't trying to go. I'm still working. So I'm doing remote meetings. I'm talking through Google Hangouts. I'm getting everything done that I need done. I don't have to deal with, like, there's always that one person in the office who's a jackass. You don't have to deal with their energy because you're at home and you're surrounded by family.
All right.
I'm thriving in this shit, man, to be honest. I've been juicing. I've been making my beet juice every morning.
That's what's
I've been running.
Man's been shitting blood then. That's what it's been looking like.
Yo.
The first time I had a beet juice shake, I was shaking. I was like,
because it scares you. You're just like, what is this?
I feel like you pissed the blood. I thought it was just me.
Yeah, bro, the beet, trust me, it's good for you though.
Yeah, the gingers. That
tastes like damn dirt, man. I mix it with a pear, 2 apples, and like a centimeter of ginger. Make your throat clear, everything up. So I just started doing that for about a week now.
A lot of people are now taking more time to focus on their health, which I can actually say I've done more walking. I try to pick up at least 5-6 kilometers outside here, just get a little walk on.
Yep. You gotta say miles for my listeners.
For miles, all right, so like 3 or 4 miles.
Kilometers.
No, I get it.
Kilometer take, man.
I used to have my Nike app, the white walk app. I used to have it in miles. I had to change it in kilometers because every time I'm talking to someone who's Canadian, I'm like, yo, I'm walking blah, blah, blah miles. They're like, miles? We do kilometers. I'm like, yeah, I know, but still, like, the Nike app says miles, so I'm going to do it in miles. So, you know, I get it, Akil.
Nah, let them learn. They still think we're in igloos. Let them learn, man.
Guys are still the igloos, yeah, man.
Why you dissing, man? Why you acting like you're not Canadian? Akil trying to diss the Canadian
He's from
side.
the cold, the real cold.
He's from the Ottawa. You're from Ottawa, bro. What are you talking about?
Nah, Akil.
Fucking Ottawa, man.
Hey, man, YouTube, what's popping? Remember, like, share, subscribe. We live right now. Live and direct. We're going to get into this 6IX9INE thing, man. We got to talk about this as much as I don't want to. We got to talk about it.
He's a genius. The marketing campaign was dope. What he did with the billboard in, was it Times Square? Was that real or was that CG?
No, that's real.
No, that was real.
That was real.
So does that mean he did have money problems or did his...
Oh, no, he had no money problems.
His record label just, like, they paid for that as an advance? Like, how
the rumor was he was given a $10 million advance for 2 albums.
From who?
I don't know. It was obviously it's not a major company like that, but it's a company that has money. My whole thing with 6IX9INE, to be honest, is that he's still kind of discussing these things about guns. Because I took an opportunity to kind of like listen to him when he was talking. He was like, okay, yo, if you fuck my baby moms, if you were scamming on me and trying to hurt me, like, of course I'm gonna turn on you. And I'm like, all right, but you kind of knew what came with that. And you kind of continue to be like, I'm a gangster and show guns and things. So his new music, I wasn't expecting that he was going to be talking about guns. I thought he would have maybe used lighter content. Yo, he's still talking about guns. Like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing?
Look, he broke the record. He's making a ton of streams. You got to realize that, to me, from my point of view, I feel like there's a generational gap with his music. That it's more geared towards a younger audience,
for sure,
and like suburban white kids, and they don't give a shit about snitching.
They never did.
They look up to people like PewDiePie, who are trolls, who are polarizing and problematic, and say racial slurs. So they feed on that type of trolling attitude. That's why you have people like Catch Me Outside. She out here thriving too, with her career. Same kind of bullshit. That's why I was just like, 6IX9INE's gonna be good. He don't have to go to the hood. He's gonna be making money. He's gonna be doing shows in Calabasas. He's gonna be doing just fine.
Yeah, I understand, but it's just in hip hop culture. If we're gonna always allow that, then what about the exceptions of other people who've gone into situations like this? Because what he's discussed is way beyond music. He's talked about being part of street culture. So to be a gangster and say that I'm a Blood or I'm a Crip, it's like, okay, you've taken this decision to be part of this gang activity. There's no out of those things. So when you decide to grow up and evolve, you can be like, I've grown and evolved, but I'm still a Blood. I'm still a Crip. Look at Game, for example, and Snoop. They've evolved. They don't. Snoop doesn't necessarily talk about I'm the killer, but he's grown. What I don't like about 6IX9INE, and you're right, the younger audience, they don't care. But it just shows us, like, if it's about $1, people who put these dollars behind his back, basically they're promoting this. You know, there's always a hidden agenda. Yep. So it's just like, it's not about content of things that you feel anyways. It's just for now. So I don't know if 6IX9INE is going to be as successful as he was before, because there were a lot of people who were rooting for him. He was entertaining. He was, when he was doing the trolling and things like that, like, a lot of people enjoyed that. A lot of people enjoyed the fact that, he was funny, and he was like, oh, you're a gangster? Well, I'm in your neighborhood, rah, rah, rah. But then when it comes to a point where people are doing like equivalent of like 40 years, like, it's not funny anymore.
Yeah.
They don't care though, man. It's always...
I know.
It's funny until it ends up on their doorstep. Have you guys watched the show Dave yet? With
Dave's funny, man.
So Casey hasn't watched it, but yeah, me and you, we watched it. So with Dave, you see the rise of him being a YouTuber, getting the record deal. And I remember at the last episode, they briefly talked about he's having an interaction with Charlemagne, and Charlemagne's talking about how white rappers always outsell black rappers, and that Eminem was the highest rapper of all times, and then Drake came through and did that. But Drake also had the Jewish community backing him. Right. When I look at the 6IX9INE, I see somebody similar to a white rapper. He has a lot of Caucasian fans backing him. So he's not going to have the same, like, street dudes backing him as Freddie Gibbs or West Side Gun.
Oh, I definitely believe that. I just feel like with what he's doing, he can make the content a lot more funner. Like, he doesn't have to talk about guns now. Like, bro, like, I would just kind of veer away from talking about anything where you're like, I'm going to slap you, I'm going to shoot you, any of that stuff.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it, though.
No, but
it's not broke.
It's not true, though. And it's like, we know it's not true. Even the people who listen to his music know it's not true. So
they don't care. They just are like entertaining me.
I hear
you. It's an unfortunate thing with
I hear you, man, but it's like
I get what you're saying with hip hop culture, and what he's doing is polar opposites.
Like, he's a rapper, bro. He'll never be considered anything beyond that. He'll make money. He's gonna always make money.
But he's not hip hop.
Yeah, Vanilla Ice made money. Like, you can still make money, but to get like to the level where it's like respect, Grammys, things of that nature. Like, yeah, he's going to make his money, and I would say run with the money for the time being. But in the long run, man, it's not going to work. It's not going to work.
I can see him get the Grammy, man. I could see him doing a pop song with somebody like a Halsey, and that shit being like the song of the summer, and he getting a Grammy for it.
Right now, the big thing is that they're waiting for the person that he's going to collaborate with. Because I guarantee you, the minute that he does collaborate with these people, the forces that be are going to, the same forces that will march for like BS, the streets, they'll DM the hell out of the artists. They'll stalk the hell out of, don't underestimate the people who like are out here and listen to the real ish. Because it's just like, we're surprised by his actions. The fans' actions can be even wilder. When it comes down to it, it's just who's the artist that's going to take that? Because reputation is reputation. That's why 50 Cent, they asked him on the radio. 50 Cent is a person who thinks money-wise. And they asked him, would you do a song with him? And he's all about money. If he really wanted to, he could be like, you know what? 6ix9ine is getting bread. I don't care about anything. 50 said no. No, I'm not doing anything. So
let me jump in on this, because this might be a false equivalency. So when Chris Brown hit Rihanna, it was one of those things where people are like, I ain't trying to touch this artist. Now, the difference is Chris Brown's extremely talented, but eventually artists will work with him, and then once they saw that, they're like, oh, it's okay. It's kind of like the equivalent of dipping your foot in the water to make sure it's warm before you jump in.
It's a little different because Chris Brown was like, how old, 18 years old?
Yeah, true.
He only got his rise back at like 25. He had to be in like a point of time for like 6 years before people were like, yo, I'm going to mess with Chris Brown. There are people who rock with him, but it took years for him to get back to the level he's at. He had to stay low. He had to do a documentary. He had to do all of this stuff to show you like, yo, I'm not that person anymore. I made a mistake. Yo, it's not right. Domestic situation, he was 18 years old. He got into a situation with his woman, Rihanna, at the time. Because they were both young, it was just a decision in like not fair judgment. He wasn't thinking, you know what I mean? To be fighting and then do that and know that like I sing music that's R&B, my big audience is females. So like me beating up a woman and then coming back to be like melody, it's not gonna work. And as you can see, as much as Chris Brown has been talented, he'll never be at the level he was gonna be at. Never.
No, for sure.
No, that tarnished his image forever.
Yo, his music is great. I never disrespect him.
But my thing with 6ix9ine is
numbers got bigger. He did 2 million on Instagram. The biggest thing that people saw was 600,000.
Yo, but for one, he hasn't been on anything for how many years? So just it's like been a time people have wanted to see what he's gonna say. So curiosity is what really is peaked at. A lot of people like it's gonna weigh down, bro.
6ix9ine doesn't think of that. Like he doesn't
think like that. But everybody else
has
thinks
somebody backing him that's way bigger than any of us can.
Way bigger, way richer.
He's joined another gang. He jumped onto another gang.
He's joined another gang.
He's a Latin king now.
He's gonna venture into Spanish music, and Spanish is a worldwide market. Spanish speaking is a worldwide, and he's from Mexico. He's not.
How do we know the label that's not backing him isn't like a cartel label or something like that?
We don't.
Right? You get what I'm trying to say right now?
Yeah, I do.
He's on a whole nother plateau of gang shit right now, I think, honestly.
Because the culture that I know of when it comes to like informants and things like that, we don't mention them. That person was a cool person at one time. They did a decision that affected them, but they knew what they were doing. The thing that bothered me the most about 6ix9ine is that 6ix9ine knew what he was doing when he was with these guys. So no matter what he wants to say about how they snaked him and things like that, when they had their straps in the videos, it was cool. When it was time to handle beef in Chicago, it was cool.
Well, he was pulling them to do that shit too.
When it was time to shoot at Chief Keef, It was cool.
Yeah, he was
like,
the one getting them to do it.
The thing that bothered me is like you had guys do hits for you, and now they're in jail for it this time, and you're just flaunting your $1 million chain and your $1 million watch and your value systems like that. Like you said,
they all went crazy, man.
The younger audience, my thing is like you said, the younger audience doesn't care. So the younger audience is gonna follow suit. My fear is not the music; it's more of the actions. The things that he's done now is something that will eventually, the younger are gonna do the same thing. You know what I mean? They're gonna do basically. I don't care. 6ix9ine did it. 6ix9ine's rich now. So like you said, they're just looking for. And I'm telling you, the powers that be, like you said, it's definitely the powers that be that are propagating. Like they're putting that in the front. They're putting the whatever $1 million behind it because they're like, yo, we don't care. We want to just sell the story. He's entertaining. He's entertaining until he gets shot. Like, you know what I mean?
The story's not over yet. 6ix9ine story ain't over. He's on the run right now. He's on the run right now. He had to like leave his house because the neighbor of where he was staying right now leaked his address online. So he had to just get up and get in a van.
To tell you
the place where he's
gonna always have to do that. He's under police protection. He shouldn't even be doing any of that stuff. Stay in your house. Don't come outside of your house. I don't care.
People are driving around looking for him right now.
People are. I'm telling you, this is a situation where people are. You have to understand the Bloods and the Crips are huge organizations.
Oh yeah.
And what happens is some of these organizations are like 30, 40, 50 years old. Don't think that judges and lawyers and other people are not Bloods and Crips. Police. Yeah, this is deep. So when it comes down to it, he still dissed the Bloods. It had nothing to do with those guys in jail now. Now it's up to these guys to be like, yo, are we going to rat out for our set? Or are we going to rat out for what's right? And to me personally, I just wish that 6ix9ine would make music if he wants to make music, but don't put up the gangster no more. Get done that. Make party records. Make all those party records. Do a Will Smith. Do have fun. Don't try to act like you're doing something you're not when you know the people who did it for you are doing like 10, 15 years. You know what I mean? Change your dialogue. Bro.
How do you feel about like the hip hop leaders not going to 6ix9ine to try to get him to change his trajectory?
They tried. Fat Joe talked to him several.
No, but I mean, like while he was in jail or while he came out, like after all of this, and he said, like even in this, he was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I learned, but fuck you," you know, like
Charlemagne talked to him for a whole hour on the breakfast.
But these guys, no, I know, but I'm saying after the fact, like after he came out of jail, that little pocket area where he was out, and people were wild and saying, nah. Do you feel like they should have reached out to this kid and been like, yo, this is the opportunity where you grow and you show?
I feel like there's probably been some channels of communication with people, but we have to remember with people, it's like, the situation is so messy. So it's like, yo, we understand, like everybody was happy for him when he was doing something positive, getting himself out of the streets in terms of promoting himself and things like that. But I just feel like no elder statesman can talk to the youth. Like you said, you know, there was a point in time where we couldn't be spoken to by maybe our parents or older people telling us like, yo, you know, you got to listen to this. You know, you can only learn through action, feeling it, going through it, seeing that it hasn't been as easy as you thought it was, and then learning. 6ix9ine as well. I think he's like 24. Yeah, he's 24. So 24, $10 million, Ferrari, Lambo, Bentley, things of that nature. It just makes you feel like, okay, if that's the circumstance, like I can do the same thing. That's the only thing I don't like, is that it's gonna plant ideas in kids' heads to think that they can go about doing this, get away with it, come back out on the road, and not everybody's gonna have the resources that 6ix9ine had when it comes down to it.
He's not the first one to do that though. Like I'm not gonna sit here and act like 50 Cent didn't do that, and then 50 Cent went and named pure name for name Gangsters and Queens, Supreme, all them. He named them in the raps. Like I
know, but he got shot for it.
I know, but he still came back and kept doing it. It's like,
but it's different because after the point,
he even got bigger after he got shot.
The thing is that he was insulated, but he still took 8 shots. So no matter what anybody can say, his body physically, he still feels pain from having those shots in him. So no matter what he's saying, it's physical. He had to get surgery. He still has a bullet in him. So I get it. Freedom of speech, you should be able to speak what you speak. But of course, because he did that, he still has this experience where he'll never be able to trust people the same. He'll never be able to do things. He had to get insulated. He had to wear Remember when he was wearing his vest and he made it seem like it was a cool thing to wear? But he was wearing it because he was scared for his life. It wasn't like this is just a cool thing.
Get rich or die trying era.
Yeah.
Like he already got shot. Like I'm saying, like he already wilded out. Like he was saying wild shit. Then he got shot. And then he put out Get Rich or Die Trying. And then he put the Massacre out even. And he was talking about them in those songs. He was naming people's names who were running around in Queens still. And they got busted. So it's like, he set an example for things that he's not, like I'm saying 6ix9ine ain't the only one. 50 Cent, I love 50 Cent, but I'm just using him as an example for like this spiral of chaos that has been in rap for a long time.
But
it's not
what about like Bobby
the
Smurder? They're like, he didn't snitch, blah, blah, blah. They're trying to praise on him, but like he's in jail for 7 years. He should have snitched then. At this point, if 6ix9ine's still making all this money and profiting, while Bobby Smurder is going to be forgotten about by the time he gets out, who's going to be checking for him when he gets out in 7 years?
He should have cooled out when he was hitting the trajectory of success. He should have been like, you know what? We're making more money right now in a week than we were making.
Well, Bobby's whole situation though, he's going to come out to be a legend because what he did is, with his brother, everybody knows Roddy was going to do more time than him. Yeah. And he was like, listen, blah, 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 to the lawyer or the Crown or DA. If you give us the same amount of time, I'll take it too. So both of them are serving concurrent the same years. So what's going to happen is Roddy and Bobby are coming out at the same time. So it's a loyalty to be like, okay, you were down with me when I wasn't down with nothing. I could come out here and leave, but I'm not going to. I love you. You're my brother. We know that we both did dirt. I'm riding with you to the end. So legendary, Bobby's going to be the king of the town when he comes out to New York. I guarantee you. I'll put money on it. I'll put money on it. Nobody's going to be bigger than Roddy because they're going to give him money. Because you have to understand, he's part of that gangster culture. And when you do what's right, people will pay you for that. People will send you bags. He's going to get money. He's going to come back out looking brand new. Money, car, everything, deal, everything. Guaranteed. Guaranteed.
Now was that the case with Gucci being?
Well, Gucci? Yeah, same like Gucci. Gucci comes out. Gucci had all that music stored up, so fortunately he had somebody just engineering all of that music. But obviously being in jail, he was able to clear up, no more drug problems, because he had all those mental issues. Remember when he blew up on Twitter, man? He was dissing everybody for a minute. Obviously he was on lean and whatever other things he was on. And he came back home, and as you can see, like, he's done a glow up, man. He looks great, got married, he's still doing music. Now he's venturing into putting out newer artists. So it's not even about him anymore. He's trying to do like push another type of generation of artists. He knows that he will always be considered one of those people from Atlanta that they'll always talk about.
Now, the counter argument to that to me is Shine, because he did that bid for Diddy. And to me, it didn't like
Shine's
career
situation is a little different though, because Shine got deported. If Shine was allowed to stay in America, he would have been big too. Because what happened is that he's not a resident. He had no status. So after that circumstance with him getting into those problems in the club, he did his time in his 10 years, and then he was sent back to the Belize. So right now, Shine is well off. Shine is good in the Belize. Like, he's loved. His father was the prime minister. So we may not visually see it, but you know, he's thriving, man. He's all right.
Now we gotta think about the thing that's connecting all these guys that have a bad situation and the ones that are the 6ix9ines who are coming to a good situation, or these guys that are actually getting a good situation now. It's the lawyers. Like Cool's, like what Jay say, like change is cool to cop, but more important is lawyer fees. Seemed like Bobby Smurder and them did not have a good lawyer. Shine didn't get a good representation in lawyer. Puff had a lawyer. He didn't have the same lawyer Puff had. You know what I mean? So like,
you know what happened too, man? Perfect example that you mentioned that, it just, I think about the whole circumstance from this. When it comes down to it, 6ix9ine was making a lot of money for these companies. So you have to remember, when you're making a lot of money through just talking and people are curious, they go stream this music, the companies are not going to stop. They're going to funnel whatever makes them money.
Exactly.
And when it comes to this music industry, there are no morals. There's no moral code. As you can see, sometimes you hear some of these artists die from like overdose and things like that. I'm pretty sure that like these labels want them to, so that they can get more money off the back end for their libraries. Because it's sad when you see like a guy dies. For instance, Juice WRLD, you know, rest in peace. When he put out his music and he passed away, he sold 10 times more. XXXTentacion, same thing, passed away 10 times more. Now they say they're giving money to the family and everything, but there's no real ownership now. So it's like the companies are still putting more marketing into it. So they're going to get more on the back end anyway. So it's a messy time, man.
Very messy time. Now, me and Akil had a quick talk before we were connecting the stuff before. And Akil was talking about 6ix9ine being a parallel to the Joker. Do you want to expand on that?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, so I was on Instagram. Shout out to Ryan Davis. He posted a Instagram video basically saying that, 6ix9ine's like the Joker. He's this colorful character. He comes in, he had all these people backing him, he screwed them over, and the people still love him. And that's kind of the case that we see here. The only parallel I see with the two is 6ix9ine likes to create anarchy, and his fans like the anarchy that he creates. Music-wise, his music's not for me. I think it's very basic and boring, and just rah rah rah, repeat the same lines 15 times type of music. It doesn't really have substance for me. But for the younger generation, they vibe to it. They really I don't know. I feel like he's a spokesman to the misfits right now.
Oh, for sure. I definitely feel like, he's an anti-hero. He was always an anti-hero when he came out. He stirred up shit because it's never really been about his music content as much as it's been about his antics. And he does do a lot of trolling and things like that. He made that word popular by doing some of the actions that he's done. No one else was going out here trying to do that. But then you know what? The difference between 6ix9ine and I would say some rappers is that he's an entertainer. It's not the music is not important. The music was never important. I wouldn't be surprised if this guy delves into movies or whatever, but the music was never the top priority. It was always the actions and the things behind. So he would do all of this drama and then he would release the record. He would always do bullshit to build up anticipation for what else he's going to do. So every time it's just he steps up, he's always trying to outdo himself. That pressure in itself is dangerous too, because some of the things he's doing, whether he realizes it or not, people are taking it in a literal sense. When he said he was in Chicago, guys are like, pull up, pull up, pull up, pull up, pull up, pull up. Because they're like, yo, you're there for real? Okay, we want to see you. Yeah. If you're really there, let us see you. But him, he likes to be ghost. So in a way, I don't know, man. 6ix9ine's a pussy to me still because he moves like it. I don't even mean to say it in that way, but
he is.
In my essence, he's scared as shit.
He's a jokester.
He's super scared. No, but he's a joker, but he's not I don't know, man. When I see jokers and some of those guys, because they make comedy, they have to be ready to fight or throw down because people always get sensitive.
Yeah. Joker will fight Batman with a crowbar and a heartbeat.
Right.
And he's tactical. He'll
one thing about Joker,
it's hard. Traps.
Joker has heart because it wasn't just about making things. And because he put in work. Because people really knew he was really about that. As much as he make jokes or whatever, he was really okay, I'm going to kill you. Even when he made that Joker movie, the reason why people love that movie so much is because obviously it's the underdog going through the stress. Shit just being thrown at him. The fact that he finds out that it's not his father. Then it's you know what I mean? Kills his mom, goes off. Then that time when I think the police come into his house or whatever, but he's cool with that one homeboy from the clown thing. So he lets him live. But everybody else, nah, you're dying. He was making fun of me. You thought I was cool? Nah, you're getting clapped. I love people who are about principle. If you're cool with me, I'm going to let you slide. But if you're not cool with me, you just walk the other way. You know what I mean? So I like that.
Man, 6ix9ine doesn't have no Greek mythology dude named Pan.
He doesn't have any allies. The difference between Joker is Joker had allies still. As much as he was evil, he had people willing to do his dirt for him. And that's an ally. Maybe maybe corporations are going to do the dirt for him. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You know who Joe Exotic was a Batman villain in my mind.
Joe Exotic was a Joker.
He had all those, exactly. He had all those minions, he had those homeless dudes working for him and all that. that was a Batman villain situation.
To an extent, Joe Exotic was charismatic to these guys.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
That's just a personality trait.
Yeah, man. Personality. You heard that he's going to be making a movie. Nicolas Cage is going to be in it. That's crazy.
I think that was a whack choice, but whatever.
Yo, what are you talking about? It's going to look like him, bro. It's going to look like him.
I would have went with a Rob Lowe or somebody.
Yeah.
You think so?
With more acting chops. Yeah, Nicolas Cage.
Who's David Spade?
Cage. David Spade pretty much already played Joe Exotic.
That's what I'm saying. He'd be perfect.
Oh, but that's too easy of a pick.
No, thing. Yo, that'd be sick. That would be sick still.
But there's a Greek mythology like character named Pan who like plays on chaos, and like 6ix9ine is like super parallel to this guy.
Sounds like Loki.
I know.
Loki's like another type.
Loki is a shit starter too, because anytime when it comes into it, he's always trying to start something. He has that power, but he's not like, he doesn't like to be good. He likes to be like, you know, the shit shaker and always do something out of opposite, knowing that he could, but he just doesn't want to.
6ix9ine's more for Loki if you think about it, because Loki's a big pussy too.
Yeah.
Got the shit kicked out of him by the Hulk. He's always trying to scheme on his brother and try to get him killed. Yeah, 6ix9ine's Loki.
Yeah, because the thing is, when it came down to him getting kidnapped and all that stuff, you know the one thing
he was winning for a little bit.
Yo, he admits he's not a G, man. He got beat up. He when he was on the IG Live, the one thing that it sounded like was bitter. Like, you still have all this money, but you're bitter.
But it don't
you're
mean nothing.
bitter as hell.
Yeah,
yo,
happy, man.
Your baby mother decided to do something outside of the realms of what was supposed to be happening.
Yeah.
That you don't have to be attached to that. You shouldn't be getting mad at that. You should be questioning her if she's willing to go do that. You know what I mean? If your people and your team was trying to do those things and you had an opportunity to walk away sooner, why didn't you? Why did it have to come to this like?
Yo, I got comic book parallel right here. So when Loki at Thor Ragnarok, when he was hanging out with Grandmaster, and he was at the top of the world hanging out with all the big dogs, he was still hating on his brother. He was still talking shit about the Hulk. Bitter as hell, just like 6ix9ine.
It's a bitter thing because it's like he knows in himself that life will never, ever be the same for him. He's always going to have to live in a circumstance where he's protected and guarded. And you know the one thing, when you're a street artist, the one thing you want the streets to do is feel you. And if you can't go out in these streets and be felt, it's going to be different. Because I don't even see like 6ix9ine doing any club shows ever. He's going to always have to do stadium stuff. He's never going to be able to be like, I can reach out to my fans and touch them unless it's like 10 cops. And the thing we have to remember is that how do we know that 6ix9ine's still not working with the police? The police is still one of the biggest gangs in the world. They have the money and the resources to do everything. How do we know that they're not funding this? How do we know? We don't. And that could be a bigger thing. This could be funded by the police.
Yeah.
I'm not
woke. That's what I was trying to get you guys to start. Because, like, yo, this is a bigger thing happening.
It's way bigger. There's a way bigger agenda than just him being an artist. The fact that they gave him $10 million, he's been able to leave jail because of the coronavirus and his asthma, where other artists like Kodak Black, for instance, is like dying to get out. He's now about to reach out to Kim Kardashian.
And as foolish as Kodak Black is, what is he talking about in his music? If you actually listen to things he's saying on his album, what is he actually saying? It's encoded secretly.
Oh, a
5%, bro. 5% shit. You know what I mean? He's talking black
music.
Yeah.
And the Kodak with the antics seems like two different people, man. It's a clone.
I know.
It cannot be the same person, man. Like,
I don't think he's a clone, but I think the people around him are penning his shit. Like,
yeah,
yo,
I was like,
we gotta put this in, and then you could talk your garbage. And
but you have to remember something too. To be an artist, sometimes you gotta your mental stability. Sometimes you gotta be kind of out of whack to kind of like be a good artist. Sometimes because you're in a box where you're like, okay, I want to set myself apart from other people, so. I just feel like what we should really be looking at with Kodak Black, because he's young, is his mental stability. Yeah. He's probably dealt with a lot of post-traumatic stress. He's probably gone through a lot of things.
All black people deal with post-traumatic stress.
Yeah,
man,
but
every day.
The fact of the matter is not everyone deals with it the same way. So that's the thing with him. With him, I think like he's thought irrational. He's probably gone through things, had to have his gun on him all the time.
But he has the money and the resources to get the therapy.
He does, but that therapy is only an aid if you want to take it. And a lot of these guys, they don't want to take it. They'll go to it. They'll go to a session and then they'll look at it and be like, it doesn't make sense.
But
some black people don't think that they think that's brainwashing.
I think
especially
the major
in the
word
part of Florida that he might be from, they might be thinking
they're brainwashing, baby.
Brainwashed?
They're like, they're gonna brainwash you, baby.
Yes,
I think honestly though, the major word is accountability. I know if you guys probably taken the Mike Tyson podcast, he tends to be very accountable. When they'll talk about things, he'll be like, yeah, I spent $40 million. I just threw it away. I was fucking all these girls and I was doing. When you become responsible for your own actions, then you can go on and heal. And I feel like when I will listen to Mike Tyson, he's healed because he's taken accountability for what he's done.
Yeah.
Sometimes these guys, they don't want to take accountability for their actions, and that's why they get stuck.
Well, Jovi, here's the thing right here. You either got to take therapy or you take dick when you go in jail. So.
Nah, I doubt that, bro. Those guys
take
still have
therapy.
money. No, some of these artists still have money, man. Jail, when they come to those circumstances, the celebrities, they're gonna probably put them in either a protective custody situation because a lot of people will attack them because they're famous.
It's the guards that have been attacking them reportedly right now.
So what it is, he's probably either talking to them in a certain way, or like you said, with the guards, they don't care. They're like, yo, I don't care how famous you are. If you want to mess with me, I'm gonna beat you up.
The guards will dick you down too now, don't get the twist.
I don't want to say they're gonna dick them down, but I will say that if they feel that they need to be aggressive, they'll handle things aggressively.
Now, speaking of we were talking about the boys in blue with this whole gang shit.
Yeah.
The blue checks on 6IX9INE's Instagram Live were crazy. Like, it was majority blue checks on there.
So
like,
hella celebrities watching them then.
Yeah, but these guys are the same people who are like, yo, don't support him, don't do that.
I know.
Like, I watched it after on Worldstar. They posted it again.
I did too.
So
they're waiting to dip their foot in that water so they can collab with them, Casey.
That's it. They're
That's
like
exactly
looking for collabs, whether it's like a negative energy collab or a positive energy collab. They're on there like, yo, fuck you, you know, like saying stuff, and then like why are you in here? Why are you even giving this energy? Like,
there's always going to be somebody on the bandwagon always trying to keep up with the relevance of doing what they need to do, and you can sometimes see it. I don't know who he's going to reach out to. I don't see him being with a rapper. I see him maybe going in a route where he's going to
disagree. I can see him doing something.
No, I see him doing with
Tory Lanez. I can see him doing something.
There's been a lot of rumors about that, and honestly, I don't know, because it's just a circumstance at this time where it's like
he's doing that Corona video stuff on Instagram. All it's gonna take is for 6IX9INE to pop on there. That's gonna
but he tried to. He tried to, and he got curved. He was on there. He was talking on there. No. There's a circumstance because of the fact that some of the content that Tory raps about, he understands. Like, he's not rapping imaginary stuff. A lot of the stuff Tory raps about, me being poor, homeless, having to sell things.
It's
like,
actual facts.
When you go through work like that, your mind changes. I don't actually see. I see him more doing like a Selena Gomez, a Justin Bieber. Like, those guys don't care. They're not in the game. They'll never be street guys ever. So he's gonna go in a trajectory that's gonna be way off, but it's still gonna work. You know
I see him working with a big Brazilian artist or a big African artist, or like, you know, like a big name.
Bad Bunny. I see him working with those type of artists still because he's Mexican, and that demographic, it's huge. It's huge.
Yeah, that reggaeton demographic.
But Bad Bunny, he still gets more views than Drake and Tory and any of those guys when he does live. He gets like 1.7 million like automatically without even trying.
I just felt it was kind of sad, like seeing all these blue checks on there, like talking shit or talking in the thing. Like, this addiction to attention is just disgusting to me. Like,
that's a celebrity lifestyle.
These celebrities aren't getting shows no more, so like they're thirsty for an opportunity to shine. They're not money coming, so they're like hungry for attention. They're doing the most. Like Safari, the man's got a fucking man's only page now. Like,
yeah, I know.
He's like $5 or something straight. Well, it's fans only. Man will do push-ups for a 10. You know what I mean? It's like, what is going on here?
You have to understand that we live in a time where I remember Andy Warhol had this thing where he was like, everybody will have their own 15 minutes of fame. So it just comes to a point where it's like, all of these guys are trying to stretch that as much as they can by doing little things, whether it be controversial or not. So to us, it may be something that is considered bad, but as you know, no press is bad press. So the more that we speak about these people is the more that people become curious. What we need to do is not say anything at all. Because if this was the streets and this was like treated like the streets, 6IX9INE would no longer be a talk. No one would talk. Because from like experience of my life and understanding that people that have done things that have hurt other people, but they were in it and they condone it at that time, we don't acknowledge you anymore. It's like looking through glass. We're not going to see you anymore. Your name doesn't get mentioned. We don't talk about you. We don't call you. We don't look for you. And what happens is because he's a star and he has this money, because, you know, they spent a lot of money for that Times Square ad. A lot of money. Yeah. It's like $50,000 a day to put up stuff on that ad, on those billboards in Times Square. Mm-hmm. So for them to do that at this time, they've planned this. This has been something probably planned when they were in jail. Like, this is what we're going to do. You're not going to go on yet. We're going to do the rollout so you have the song first, and then we're going to make sure that everything is done. So obviously there's a mastermind behind him, and I doubt that mastermind will ever show his face because it will be a problem for him. It's going to be an instant problem for him.
Yeah, that's the thing I was thinking about when Meek Mill was wilding out on this 24-year-old kid online on Twitter and stuff like that. I'm like, why Meek, man? Why are you wilding out on 6ix9ine? Who cares? There's a bigger play that's happening here.
Right.
Try to find out those people's names and just post those people's names online. Be like, this guy is supporting him. This is the producer behind the beat. This guy did this. How y'all feel about that?
I think
you know what I mean. And make a dialogue if you're gonna.
You know Meek, man. Meek has always been pretty passionate, and I think what happens now, he's doing that prison reform where he's trying to get a lot of these prisoners out who've got into situations, and some of them are innocent. So I feel like he's just speaking from a place of passion, and sometimes when it comes to that passion, you have to just remove that a little bit, just kind of like watch it, stay from a distance, don't get so caught into it, because all it does is make 6ix9ine just be like, oh, you're Meek, I'm gonna answer you. Everybody else is saying the same thing.
Because he clowned him with his
everybody else
response.
is saying the same thing, but he responded to you because you're important. When you're important
to the hip hop culture, you know what I mean?
Yeah, when you're important, you're considered somebody who's like a purveyor of taste or influential. Yeah, you go say something to him, it's gonna. Because I bet you Drake ain't saying nothing. Drake's not gonna do this. Drake's gonna be like, yo, I'm waiting for my album to come out. I don't really care about nothing else. You see, he just dropped the Dark Lane demos. He was shouting out a guy from the street named 50 on the cover. There's a guy who was from Scarborough, a known man, who's doing this thing out here and gets love. And I guess it was like a homage to him too. But like, you know what I mean? Drake is not gonna be around that. I know that. Certain superstars are just gonna remove themselves. So I feel like the realm of pop music, like 6ix9ine should just do pop music. Like you're saying, it could be pop, rap, pop, whatever you want to call it. Yeah. Just don't be trying to talk gangster no more. That's done. It's dead. It's dead.
But if it's working, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
To be honest, the only distraction in that video was the girls. It was all girls in the background showing the ass for like 5 to 10 minutes.
People that say that shit was fire, that the lyrics are banging, and all it was is just him saying, "You dummy, you stupid, you dummy." Stupid.
I was like, why are people mad at these black girls doing this shit? Why aren't they mad at these girls?
Yo, they're trying to get a check. I can't be mad at people who got bills to pay. Yeah, you understand? When it comes to people, some people will do what they need to do to get this money. Like you said, OnlyFans is a big thing right now amongst the women out here who don't have no jobs. They're twerking. Believe it or not, when Quarantine Radio was on there, look how many girls were twerking on there, and they're sending their Cash App to get some money. So a lot of these strippers make this money from entertainment in the clubs. There's no more clubs. What are they going to do? They got to think towards the future. So OnlyFans is kind of like that transition. You don't pay another fee to anybody else, where you work in a strip club, you pay a percentage to like the owner or whatever. Nah, you're getting all that money directly. You're showing content that's you, and basically you're making all the moolah just for showing your ass and stuff.
I'm about to do that, man. I'm about to start showing my feet. I know they got somebody out there who like feet.
You're killing me. There's somebody who likes there's somebody outside in the world that likes everything. You're right. There's always there's a demographic of somebody who likes something.
$5 a month. You can see my feet.
Don't kill me, bro.
I've been cleaning them and moisturizing them. I've been using CBD oils.
Black seed oil.
So what, flaxseed oil?
Don't kill me, man.
Y'all want to switch gears? I'm sick of
let's
do it.
So recently, I think you guys probably all seen the video with Ahmad Aubrey, where these two jackasses shot him as he was jogging. So I just wanted to know your take on it. I'm not sure how much information you guys have. I've been doing my research, so I could jump in whenever you guys feel.
I could tell you just one or two things that I do know. I know that it was a former cop who killed him. So there's going to be some problems. There's going to be a lot of problems. Because it's just, you have to understand, they're still a club, right? So
it goes back to what I was saying.
Yeah, what I was trying to tell you, that when it comes to resources and things like that, they stick together. It's like being a Mason. You know, when you have your ring or whatever, no matter what state you're in, if me and you are wearing the same ring and we're part of the same crew because you went to that, or I went to the same college as you, like, we're going to help each other. We're going to help each other. Even though everybody else is going to be like, oh, you shouldn't help each other. Nah, they were like, we know what this band is. It's a band of oath. So unfortunately, with the circumstance, there has to be obviously more to it than we know of. He was jogging, obviously, but because we don't have the audio of what was said, there had to be some sort of maybe blur, maybe the N-word or whatever.
They do have the audio.
They do? I never heard it with the audio.
Oh, I heard it with the audio. They're like, what you doing, boy?
I turned it off. I didn't watch the whole thing. I turned it off. I got what I needed from the paragraph under it. But like my thing on this is, I have a feeling that these are things that have been happening in America and all over the world.
Facts.
These people have been passing these videos along as like porn videos, how people pass it on X video.
It's like a snuff film for them.
They have their groups online, and this video got out there because this murder happened 2 months ago.
I know.
And this was like some sort of celebratory video that they're probably passing around, and it leaked. And because of the leak happening, people that have a balanced mind state saw this and were like, yo, what the hell's going on? But these things are happening right now. This is nothing to do with him jogging in the wrong place or being rude. Even though you're jogging in the wrong place and being rude, there's no reason for this to even
modern day lynching, man.
Exactly.
It is a modern day lynching.
I honestly feel like this was something being celebrated by a certain group of people.
I agree.
I would definitely say that too.
And it leaked. So.
Let me piggyback on this right here, Casey, because what you're saying makes a lot of sense. So the person filming it, because first of all, the whole situation is weird. Why is there a guy filming this black guy jogging, and then these two individuals come up to him? They try to shoot. They're shooting at him. He's fighting for his life. And then they shoot him as he's running. Now, the person filming him thought it would clear his friends. He claims that it will clear his friends' names if he was to film it, because they were trying to use that they were doing a citizen's arrest. They claimed that there was a robbery in the area and that they felt that he was the suspect, and they were vigilantes and they wanted to do a citizen's arrest. Now, information has leaked that is a lie. There is no burglaries in the area. This, to me, is premeditated murder. Somebody was following him. They had the camera. It was lynching season, and they were ready to go. So they lied about that. It took 3 months of video and the power of the internet for these guys to get arrested, because his dad, I believe, was a former DA, and the current DA, Janice Johnson, didn't arrest them because she was saying that they were acting under the scope of a citizen's arrest. Even though the cops at the time were under the arrest of those individuals, the DA said no.
Yo, man, this whole situation it doesn't leave it leaves like a bitter taste in my mouth, because it's like, you see it, like you said, it was footage that was shown 2 months ago. So they had this for some time. It was in a southern state. So it just lets, so just when it comes down to it, you just know it's like hunting season everywhere you go.
Yeah.
And constantly it's affecting us. Sometimes I'll be honest with you, since the pandemic and things like that, I tend to not look on my IG anymore. There was a point in time where I took like a month just to not look at anything, because it's weighing us down. And unfortunately, what can we do when we want to be free as a black man? Running, he's just running. The man is
jogging. I do it all
jogging.
Time.
He's wearing his jogging clothes. He's wearing a t-shirt. Was it shorts, running shoes? Yo, it's just so crazy that whole situation happened. And like you said, there's always some sort of agenda, because when it comes down to it, the KKK has like what, 3-4 million people in it. Like,
they just don't wear their hoods anymore. They wear badges.
That's been over. But it goes back to what I was telling you about. It goes back to what I was telling you about the Bloods and the Crips. When you age, there are going to be judges. There are going to be lawyers. There are going to be doctors. There are going to be teachers. There are going to be people who just, we were kids when we started, but we've evolved as people, but we still have the same value system. Yeah. So that value system doesn't change. That's a brotherhood. So when it comes down to it, it's just like a fraternity. So I believe that possibly
white supremacists are like the longest running crime syndicate we have, going back to colonialism.
Right.
They've just been evolving with their different traits of, instead of doing this, we're going to cook meth. We're going to do that. It's because when you think of a white supremacist, you automatically think of like some redneck hillbilly cooking meth. But it's not just that. There's people up north who's a lawyer, who's a doctor, who's purposely killing this patients, purposely doing that.
Yeah.
You know what that reminds me of is that what's it called? Eyes Wide Shut or something? You remember Nicole Kidman when they go into that
the party?
That party, and everybody's masked up. It's like you don't know who is who. You don't know who's important. You don't know you just know they're all there for this orgy. So you have to understand when these people are amongst each other.
Orgy.
Because orgy doesn't always have to be a sexual thing. So basically, when it comes down to it, people are in a group and they have these same value systems. When they go out into the world, they can be people who you are considering normal. You don't know that they have that until you either get to know them or you press them for information. You know what I mean? Because I know just growing up, man, there was always people who were racist, man. When I was a little kid, I worked at McDonald's, of course, and perfect example is there was an Italian man where he would never come in my line. he would wait. My line would be the one that's out. Like, I'm finished rapping everything. He wouldn't come to my line, no matter what. He would come into the McDonald's every day, get a coffee and a muffin, and never come to my line. And my boy said, yo, it's because he's racist. He doesn't deal with black people. He doesn't talk to them. He doesn't do anything. And you just understand, okay, I'm going to stay away from you. But then we live in a world where, like you said, now we don't know who these people are. So we're moving amongst them, and it is what it is. We just have to kind of be careful. That's all, man.
And, like, what do you do with this? People are like, oh, we should get guns to protect ourselves. But even when you do have a gun and you protect yourself, they're throwing you in jail. They're going to take you to court. You're going to be surrounded by your quote-unquote peers, and you're going to get trialed for murder. Even if let's say somebody breaks into my house, and I want to defend my family. Let's say it's a white male. He comes to my house. He's drugged up. He has a knife. I shoot him, kill him. I protect my family. I'm going to jail. I'm going to jail for murder. Even though I protected my family, when it comes to the court, I don't have that benefit of a doubt. I don't have a jury of my peers. I'm going to see somebody that they're going to see me as a black male. Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm sorry. It looks like my camera.
That's funny. The beer pitcher. That's dying.
The beer pitcher? I was like, first of all, they're going to say, what did he do in the past? Because that's the first thing.
Yeah, you're always judged by your actions.
They always have to justify their supremacy with finding some type of dirt on the person to justify what they did. They're like, oh,
I know.
We killed this person because he peed his pants in kindergarten. So it makes sense.
No, but you're right. A lot of the times
he stole a stick of gum in the first grade, so I had to shoot him 30 years later. Makes sense. He's clearly was going to be a criminal in the future.
Man, look at that guy who came into the church, the white boy who shot up everybody. Or look at the killer who killed in Vegas. Mm-hmm. Bro, those guys were mentally ill, went into these circumstances, killed all these people, but they were still treated with dignity when they were arrested.
Yes,
so we just have to look
Burger King and everything.
Yeah, we just have to look at the circumstance of how it is, man. Unfortunately, it's just, I don't know what more can we do, because, you know, we're always aiming for black excellence, and unfortunately, like, other people don't see it that way. And like you said, they're quick to judge from the past instead of see what's in present before them presently.
Now, how do we get our white counterparts on board? We do the whole Black Lives Matter thing. We show them countless examples, but there's still others who either don't know, don't show, or don't care.
Honestly, man, it has to be something that is done in a way where it has to be less about marching and more about changing regulations, changing legislations.
Yeah.
Just like we said, like, one thing that, as you know, in America, like, it's a prison state. It's a prison country. So once you become a felon, you can't vote. So there are like millions of people who are felons in your country. That's not like that in Canada. You get a record, you could still vote. They need to change that. That needs to be amended. I even think the right to bear arms needs to be changed a little bit. It needs to have some sort of surplus where it's explained more. Because that right to bear arms is the problem. Because everybody's like, I have to have my gun to protect myself. Yeah, it was a time where,
and that right it doesn't work for everybody. That right to bear arms only works for white people.
Right.
It doesn't work for black people, because when we defend ourselves, we go to jail. There's that instance with that lady, her husband was going to attack her, and she shot a warning shot into the ceiling. They sent her to jail for about 13 years.
That's crazy. Look at the situation where that black man went into his apartment, and the cop killed him, mistaking his house. I was like, yo, what the hell? And at the end, she was like getting sympathy and getting hugs because she made, yo, bro, what is this? Like,
slave mentality, man. That's a conditioning of always, forgiving your oppressor, yet hating on your own people. Like, this kind of trickles back to the whole 6ix9ine thing. With this whole street justice, I never understand why they're quick to go after like a Pop Smoke or XXX and like shoot them up in the street. But when we have interactions like George Zimmerman, all these goons in Florida, not one Florida goon ever went after Zimmerman. This case with these guys, the McMichaels, this has happened since February 23rd.
Wow.
Tell me all these Georgia goons, nobody from Georgia didn't run into these guys at Waffle House or Food Line.
I don't know if it's just
Walmart.
Fear, man. I don't know if it's a fear-based thing to know that they'll probably get away with killing their own quicker than they'll get with killing somebody else. I don't know if it's a fear-based thing because honestly, I'll tell you something, man. Me and you, KC, we can say, because we're Canadians, it's different. There's bigotry here, but it's not as blatant and overt as it is in America.
Yeah, like, but it's covert here.
It's super, very passive aggressive.
It's super overt in America. In America, it's like, yo, bro, we're not supposed to be in this neighborhood. We're not supposed to be here. There, like in Canada, people will be like saying they accept you, but then sometimes they'll be like, oh, nice hair or nice shoes or you got another pair of sneakers. Like it's all subliminal shots. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. America and Canada, that's the difference. Is like,
yeah, but I prefer the overt. I prefer the overt.
I prefer the overt too. Yeah, I prefer to know who I'm dealing with.
I'm not shopping there. I'm not giving you my money, my energy.
I prefer to know that too. Yeah, because when you get the energy, you're like, yo, fam, I know who I'm dealing with. For instance, man, you live in North Cac. So when I went to North Carolina that first time with Eastwood, shout out to Eastwood. It was like, it's different. It's beautiful, but you can see that if you step on the wrong curb or something, it could be a problem. You get lost in a place, it could be a problem.
You can feel the energy when you enter certain places. For sure. Like, all right, I ain't gonna mess with this place.
For sure. Me as a Canadian knew, like, I'm not dumb. Like, you can sense it. It's like, this is our side and that's your side. We just do whatever. Even though they don't say it, it's just like you know it, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Let's get back on the rails here. What were we starting with here? Because we were talking about the whole killing of Aubrey, right?
Oh yeah. So we're talking about the killing. We have the everybody's doing their 2.25 miles.
That's good.
People respect for him. But my thing is these two guys, they got arrested. But when it goes to court, George Zimmerman got arrested as well.
I know.
But he got away. So I'm just like, he has the DA in his pocket. He has the former police in his pocket. They moved it to I think 2 counties away from where it actually happened.
Yeah, they're not dumb.
But I'm just saying that reach is so broad.
Yeah, we have to understand too the relationships that this man has. He's a retired police officer. He has all of these relationships with people that he's built a good rapport with. And as we know, not everybody ends up on that bottom level forever. A lot of these people become like officers and important lawyers. And I'm pretty sure that he's even probably dealt with having to be a witness in court. So it's like a club, like we know when it comes to the law and how it's done. It's like once I'm in this club, it's like dap up. No matter how old I am or whatever the circumstances is, you're still going to have some sort of way to protect me from these things. And it's a crazy thing because when we saw the footage, like you said, it's 2 months ago. Why did it take us having to enforce and show it a million times, show it to so many people for things to really take uproot? Like, why are they just arresting them right now? Why didn't this happen in February? Like, you know what I'm saying? That will make me a little more, that's what made me a little more upset about the situation. I know people are sharing the video for awareness, but why didn't they snatch them the day of? Like, why didn't they snatch them the week of? Like, and then to find out these guys are cops, it's like, okay, I understand. There's a deeper thing to this than they're saying.
Yeah, because the dead body's on the floor. The police have to go to the place and investigate. So, like, what happened in that investigation?
They're word against another person, and they're like, "Oh, I'm an officer. I know how to deal with this." Yo, officers know how to kill for real. They know how to get away with it. Because when it comes to paperwork, they're just gonna be like, "Yeah, corroborate. Yo, all of us. Yo, we all. When that guy, he tried to attack me, right? Blah blah blah. You know what I mean? It's just like that type of situation.
Or you weren't even there. Those bullets, we have no idea where those bullets came from.
Exactly. I was fearful for my life. You see, the good thing is that there was footage. The sad thing is that it was so late. I have the footage with the
audio if you guys want to see it.
Yo, man, I'm interested. Definitely. It's
my thing is we gotta think about all the other cultures that also see these things happen to blacks in America and blacks in the world. Like, why are they always quiet when these things happen?
Because it's not my problem. Right?
Exactly. So
exactly.
Like, that's a big problem.
But that also has a lot to do with I think that has a lot to do with mental slavery when it comes down to it too, though. You know what I mean? It's like something that's been kind of put into us from the very beginning of existence when
they don't want to upset their oppressor, man.
Came from the boat, because obviously there's a lot of fear based in these people, you know? So we need to just do things where we empower ourselves more. And obviously our dollar is very powerful. So we have to start to boycott things that we don't feel are right. We need to do it in a way. It's okay to pick it, but I feel like it hurts more when you're like, you know what, I'm not buying your service. And 100,000 of us are not buying your service. So you start to lose. Go ahead.
We gotta stop holding each other back from monetizing our creations. Like, there's a lot of times when we create things, even if it's a dance or something stupid, and people are like, oh yeah, you can't make money out. You can't copyright that. You can't. It's like, why can't you try to? Why not? Like,
yeah, exactly.
These barriers, these mental barriers on.
Yo,
KC and Jovi, real quick. Let me jump in.
What I mean?
Let me get this off my chest.
We gotta put more props on the monetations.
With white supremacists, they don't care until you hit their pockets. Honestly, that's all they care about.
That's exactly what it is.
The dollar. So until you hit their pockets, you got to hit their pockets financially, and then you're gonna have to change legislation and get different people. Because the thing is, they're always saying, "Hey, let's get some black people in the police force." But the thing with that, you end up getting these black people in the police force who are so afraid that they don't want to.
It's fear-based, man.
They're like, "Oh, I don't want to get the chief mad, so I'm gonna go extra hard on my black counterparts," and they end up being the worst cops, beating you up worse than the white officers. Not always, but I'm just saying there's a lot of cases where they're just so fearful of. They're like, "Nah, they're gonna think I'm going easy on Lamont over here." So
man, honestly, I've been watching the footage they've been showing in New York too. There's an IG site where he's been showing all of the double standards. So there was a funeral in Brooklyn. It was Jewish Brooklyn. There were so many people, no social distancing.
Yeah.
They went to another part, I think it was the Bronx, and this guy wasn't wearing a mask. I guess they're really being serious about that. Yo, they grabbed him up, punched him, threw him to the ground. They're like, "Yo, what are you doing?" He was out cold. He flips him over, cuffs him. But yo, when it comes down to it, they're always over aggressive to us. There's always a need to have to be.
Man, I watch so much live PD, and I always see the change of behavior depending on the race of the person they're dealing with.
Right.
What is it that the Orthodox Jewish people have in Brooklyn that a lot of black people in the
value?
Money.
They have their value. They own a good stake of percentage of the property.
So when that cop goes on that property,
they can't do that.
He's in a tribe of area owned by.
But the thing is, with the Jewish community, what I really respect is that if some sort of injustice comes together, yo, they know how to do this. This is not based on just picketing. It's about hurting pockets.
Yeah,
it's about saying, you know what? I'm not playing with you no more. I'm not buying your service. No, you know what? If I'm not buying your service, 100,000 of us are not buying your service.
Yeah, but we gotta applaud them for that, because like they organize like the wasps on a hornet. You know, like they all just send a signal and they just heat up on that one target, and then
because they know really where it is. It's financial independency that really stops things. When you're dependent on people, sometimes with us, we'll say, okay, we're going to a job, we don't like it, but we need to go there, right? Yeah. In those cases, a lot of that culture, they build their own businesses. They're more prideful to say, you know what, we're not going to work for somebody else. We're going to create something. It may be a little longer for us to see well, but in the long run, it's going to pay off. Yeah. And that's what it's happened. Even in New York, that's what's happened. A lot of their forefathers have, shed blood and worked hard, and at first probably didn't get nothing. And then now they're looking back at like, yo, we made wise investments for our children's children.
Black people don't have that advantage though, because when we came to America, everything was stripped from us, from our culture to our language.
I know, but the fact of the matter is that unfortunately, if we keep going back in our deep past and we don't look forward and try to find solutions right now,
but we have to heal from that past and move forward. We still have. I think every black person should be given free therapy every day on the news. We are seeing images of ourselves getting killed, getting murdered, and that wears on your mental state. I think every black person's dealing with what? We need black therapists.
That's like we need more black teachers.
We need more black teachers, black judges, black therapists, black cops, black police chiefs, black mayors, black DAs.
You know the sad part about it is too, when it comes down to it, when people do like that history.com where they want to find out their origins, almost every race has black in them. So the fact of the matter is that sometimes if there was an acknowledgement that like we're all just equal people, but we need to be treated like that, then we can move forward. Unfortunately, the attitude in America and many other places,
superiority complex, man, that'll never happen.
It's a fear. It's
superiority, because look at this case where this guy stopped the guy running. He felt the superiority that he could be a vigilante, and why is this guy in my neighborhood? Why is he here?
But why does he feel that he has to be inclined to do that? What if this guy
superiority complex for being a white supremacist?
But no, it's just like he looked at the man running and was immediately threatened by the guy running.
Exactly. He's like, why is this Negro in my neighborhood?
Like you said, if we're going to have to change our past, they're going to also have to change their past too, because their mentality based on what they've probably gone through.
Exactly, which I'm saying. I'm saying
changed.
It's up to our white counterparts.
We need to maybe having a conversation with each other in a way where we have a moderator who is not biased, and we're able to see like, what is your view of us? What is your view of us? And what can we say that we both share in common? Because the thing is, even though supremacists are supremacists and black people are black people, there's always some sort of common tie. Maybe we like basketball. Maybe we like the same news. Maybe we like the same TV show. Because we haven't had a chance to really talk to each other. Mm-hmm. We don't give ourselves the opportunity to really know each other on face value. We want to group a bunch of people together instead of thinking based on an individual. And that's what we're hurting sometimes. Because you're right. When these supremacists, they're seeing us or whatever, they're like, oh, that's a black nigga or whatever. You know what I mean? So it's instantly, let's attack them. But they don't know that John is a hardworking man. He has a family, going to school, has a degree. You know what I mean? It's never like you. It's always
Jovi,
it's never below skin.
I'm sorry. This goes back to slavery. They saw black people as 3/5 of a human being. They don't see us as equal.
I figured that, man.
Even with the police officer, there was a recent video. This guy, he was bullshitting. He was on Facebook Live doing dumb shit. But the cops approached him. They didn't know he was on Facebook Live still. They shot him. They killed him. It was still recording, and they were laughing that they shot and killed him, laughing over his dead body.
Bro, it's the South, man. You understand the South? Bible Belt, Church Belt, anything over there, yo, you already know. It's always been like that, and it's gonna always remain like that.
It's like that in the North, though, but it's just passive aggressive.
It's very passive aggressive, and the thing of the matter is that it's not. I don't know. It's not as blatant, like you said. It's not like we know it. A lot of the times, we don't know who our enemies.
Let's watch this video. Let's get to this video before we get off topic again. All right, so I got it. You guys ready?
Yeah, go ahead.
So this is the friend of the shooter recording this from his truck.
I'm not seeing anything. It's just frozen.
Oh, really?
There we go. There we go. It's working. It's working. Okay.
So he was whooping that one son's ass. Now he's running.
He said something to him, man.
Yep.
No, but I want to hear the conversation that he was saying to him that he's fighting. Because something was said.
He said something like, what you doing here? Or some dumb shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, the man, honestly, he was just jogging, man. He ran around the car and then
that's premeditated murder, though. So how long was that guy following that guy? That's the other thing. We don't know how long he was following him.
We don't even know how much more footage of that is, too.
Yeah,
because remember, it's sometimes neatly edited to make it look like it was just this point of it.
Yeah.
We don't know what conversations were had before this time. We don't know why this guy had a shotgun in the back of his car. Was he hunting? Why the fuck do you have a gun in your back of your car? Why are you guys?
State, man.
What's with the carry? What's with? I know that's why I'm scared of Florida. There's a lot of states I'm like, yo, bro, I'm cool with everybody because those places you can carry your gun and it's like, yo, if I feel like I want to defend myself, I can get away with it. So Miami, Florida, I love Miami, Florida, y'all cool. But the fact that people can just have their gun on them at any time, you just have to know. There are people out here who just are looking for a reason to just pop off.
Yeah,
they're just waiting.
So if you're black and you're doing open and carry, you're just looking for the police to follow you and to profile you. But when you're white, walk around wherever the hell you want with your gun. As long as you have your hunting permit, you have your open and carry license, you're good. But if you're black, they're questioning you.
But they're just looking for a reason. Before you even fight, you know what I mean? You're looking for a reason to just blam a man's face off. You know what I mean? Like, yo, the whole situation, it was a shotgun. So, that took off pretty much half of his thing. Even though we can't see it, you can see the blood in his shirt when he's running. So it's just like, yo.
Yeah, that's a buckshot, I think.
Yeah, okay. So it's probably multiple pellets in him right now. Because you know what happens when you bust the buckshot? It expands. So, damn, man, like... The hell's going on?
Premeditated murder, man. I don't know how long that guy could have followed them for the first mile for all we know.
Exactly. You don't know.
And I think Trump's going to make an example of this because it's election season. These guys are going to get prosecuted, and Trump's going to jump on this bandwagon and make an example of these guys.
You think so?
So he could try to, weasel that black vote real quick.
I think Trump just wants to make sure that it's about money, man. I don't know if he's really going to be. I think this is kind of like on a micro level when it comes to him and his party and situations like that. I just feel like
he got Vince McMahon in his back pocket right now, the head of WWE, trying to reopen the different states. Like, you have somebody who knows nothing about science or the coronavirus or climate change or anything. He's just like, we gotta make this money.
Because it's money. It's money. And you have to understand, you live in a place. America's based on manifest destiny. So if you can't go out there and make your money and do your thing in terms of go out there and they have that thing, patriotism. But a lot of the times it's capitalism. If I can't make money off of what I'm doing, look at Amazon. Amazon's a perfect example. I don't know if you guys have been paying attention. There have been a lot of the workers, the warehouse workers, they went on strike.
We had one on our last podcast.
Vice president quit. The vice president quit. He quit. And you know what happened? 2 days later, someone died in one of those warehouses.
A lot of them die. I heard they
Jeff Bezos is going to be in a lot of trouble, bro. Because when it comes to accountability, because when it comes to accountability, it doesn't mean nothing about money. There's like these are pre-tells. The vice president of Amazon quit. Like there's going to be investigations. Same like I'm talking about here in Canada. As you know, a lot of the older people are being affected by this COVID-19.
Yes.
And the bigger issue is like where all of these senior living homes always having problems and we just blind-eyed them. And now we are called out for our accountability. So we're going to see within the next year, there's going to be a lot more accountability based on these organizations. You're not just going to be able to say, I could set up something and it's going to be like that. There's going to be more inspections. It's going to be way more thorough.
I think the government had a better lockdown in the 70s of these retirement homes, and privatization rose up and throughout the years, and that's why we're seeing the decrease in quality.
Privatization is profitable because think about it. You have these tenants paying anywhere between $2 to maybe $5,000 a month, 10 grand, whatever the circumstances. That window of money privately. So the organizations are giving obviously their higher ups this money. And then they're just trickling down the little bits amounts to the people who work there. And that's why they did those raises too. Because these things
have to have 2 jobs.
Yeah, because these things were supposed to happen a long time ago. It just took the actions of people actually dying for it to be like, you know what? And you know what? Honestly, it was Doug Ford too. Because when Doug Ford saw his mom or his grandmother or somebody in there, he started to like bug out. Like, his mother's in one of those living care places. So he was just like, yo, no. I'm affected by this. I need to make sure that like, my people are taken care of. Like, so that means that everybody across the board needs to be taken care of. Because
it takes the problem coming to your doorstep for action to happen for a lot of people.
Unfortunately, that's how it always is.
Now back to this situation with the shooting. What could we do moving forward?
What is there to be done? Like I told you, it's based off of money. If you're not about.
But how do we hit their money when this is going to be a judicial issue, where the court system's all about money anyways to begin with? Like, whatever money you have is going to determine if.
I wouldn't personally do that. I personally wouldn't do this trial in a southern state.
They have to though.
I wouldn't. Because that's a big issue. Like you just said, they have to. You can't dictate that. Yeah, like you have to change it. When it comes to certain circumstances, like Zimmerman being in Florida and understanding that those are the laws there, you have to do it from an unbiased perspective, but it's not going to happen that way. So the only thing you can do, of course, is just continue to be on the watch. Make sure that you have your camera phone ready for these people. Make sure that you're willing to turn on these people.
Even when you tape, like there was that guy, he had his gun permit. The black guy, his girlfriend was taping and everything. He said he had his permit, and the cop shot him anyway. So what are you supposed to do?
You got to.
Unfortunately, man,
what you got to do is continue to strive for excellence. Don't allow these people to divert what you're striving for, and you gotta celebrate these.
And also, you know what you need to do?
Wrong answer, Casey. You got to train with Vegeta, and that pressure.
But what we need to do,
you gotta keep the mind state strong. Man.
What we have to do is we have to fight power with power.
Yeah,
we can't.
But it's not a shoot thing.
No, it's not shoot. But what I'm saying is
we're on the path to it.
We need to reach the legal system. We have to use that money that we are buying our Jordans and buying everything, and go to these courts because it's money that dictates situations.
Yeah.
So when you have the money to get the best lawyer, you're gonna get out. That's why 6IX9INE is out. I'll bring it back to that. When you have good power, when you have good attorneys, you're not going to worry. They're going to fight for you. There's no more Johnny Cochran. So what you need to do, you need to go get a retainer and get the best lawyer. It can't be the DA
Kim Kardashian. So,
nah, not Kim Kardashian. Like a real serious lawyer, like a lawyer who's
Kim's
like
doing her thing, man. I give her props.
She's not a lawyer though, man.
She's not a lawyer yet. She's
like I'm talking about real lawyers who like make moves now.
She got a team though. She got a team.
When it comes down to it,
if everybody organizes and collaborates their finances, if it's even like $1 each from every American,
if it's $1 from 1,000 people, that's still more money than you know what I mean. If it's
that's what I'm saying. To be able to get an actual good
people,
representation
is what we need. Strong representation.
There's an anti-group to it right now on Facebook called they posted White Lives Matter and all these other groups, like they're coming together defending those two guys, saying that their shooting was justified. And apparently the guy that got shot, he did something like 5 years ago when he was like a teenager.
But it goes back to, like I told you, why are we always being judged by these circumstances?
They gotta justify their bad actions.
It's not justified though.
They gotta. It's not. I know, but
and you know what it is, man. And an intelligent level, man. If you really think about it, man, it's not justified. And you know who's looking at us like we're fools is Europe, man. Europe is looking at us like, yo, bro, you're bugging out. It's black and white or what? Like, to be honest with you, blacks are the majority in America, but they're treated like the minority.
No, we're the minority. It's at the point.
No, you're not. The numbers are the majority. No, the numbers are not. No, Hispanics are considered like 1% or 2% black still. So that's why you see some of them like Fat Joe still say
they don't claim it. They don't.
That's not true.
You got some.
Some don't.
Not claim it.
You can't. I understand.
Yeah, but you can't.
Some people don't want to, but you
I'm
can't
not
make
generalizing.
it is a generalization.
But here's the thing: you can't just sum up all Hispanics under the umbrella of black. You got.
When it comes down to it, question to you: are there more black people than white people in America?
There's more white people than black people in America.
There is?
Yes.
I'm gonna have to look that up. I don't think that's
the thing is there's a lot more minorities.
Black people make up 12% of the population.
My thing is there's a lot more minorities.
White.
Indians.
Opposite to white, I believe Chinese, the white is 86%.
86%?
So let's look it up. Let's look up the stats.
Yeah, I would look up those stats. I don't think
there's more minorities. There's definitely
there's way more minorities, bro.
Now, in comparison to Asians, Indians, blacks, Hispanics, and if people put their money together to actually make things happen in the black culture, there wouldn't be as much.
All right, so I got it picked up right now. So black or African American is 12.6%. Native American is 0.9%. White is 72.4%.
Wow.
I don't know where you're getting that information, but
Google right now. I haven't picked up. Like,
that's crazy.
Like, I don't know where. Well, you guys are in Canada, but yeah, I'm giving you.
Yeah, it's because it's completely opposite of that. Where there's way more. There's way more immigrants.
You might interact with more black people, but at the end of the day, that's
not even black. There's way more. There's way more minorities here.
Here you go. We just recently did the census report too. Do you guys? I haven't lived in Canada.
But this is people who do the census too, right?
Yeah.
So there's households that don't do the census.
Well, they force you to do it now. The government comes after you.
Nah, man, there's people who don't do this, bro. Just like people who live in the hood who are not going to go in the hood and say, yo, I live in my baby mom's house. Like, that's fudge, bro. I don't believe that stat. I don't believe it's so high.
What the main thing is that there's more minorities than there are these actual supremacist white people.
It's starting to get like that. It's
I'm not talking about just black people. It's all different cultures.
Yeah, Hispanic,
like a mixture
Chinese,
of minorities.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
European.
But the thing is, not like they always treat black people like the odd man out. You're not going to see, maybe like somewhere like Toronto, it's more like, hey, we all come together. But like in America, it's very segregated. The Asians hang out, the Asians, the Native Americans have their own little community. The Spanish people kind of keep to themselves. Every once in a while, you might see one.
Honestly, man, the only place that I would say that we're a lot more segregated is in employment. When it comes into Toronto, the employment is like a big point of segregation. There's not a lot of like black bosses in like certain organizations, and I've worked in some really good organizations, man. And you don't ever see higher ups that are black, and when they do, it's like magnifying glass. Like you fuck up, you're fired.
And like in Canada,
when I was like 20,
when I was
working in retail, and I was like 20, the guys who hired me at like the shoe spots, they're working there for years, doing like 12-hour shifts, and they didn't go nowhere. Those black guys, and they could have been district managers, but then they hired this one guy, and then he flies up the board like quick.
Oh yeah, of course.
What the hell? He has no education. He doesn't even know sales.
That's the one thing I noticed about
like, what is going on?
That's where the passive aggressive. When it comes to the employment situation in Canada or Toronto, from my experience of working in some of the best organizations, bro, and I don't want to say no names, but when I'm in them, I see it blatantly. I worked in one place that's super huge, known for like across the world. I went in the office and I was one of the only minorities in there, bro. I was the only black guy in there. Coming to work every day, being the only black guy, you don't feel a way because I'm like, yo, I'm here for a reason. So I'm working anyways. But I see why it's like hard for us to feel like we should be confident when they don't want to put us in those conversations in those buildings. No matter what type of education you have, it's like we got to work 10 times more. We got to look. Even the thing is like, I was talking to someone about it based off skin color. It's like, oh, if I'm light skin, I'll get in. Or
yeah, it's called the paper bag test.
If I'm multiracial, if I'm like black with a white in me, but then I don't want to act like and I'll get by. And I seen that happen, bro.
Yeah, it's code switching, and it's the paper bag test. So if you're darker than the paper bag, that's what they used to do in the South. Like it passed the Mason-Dixon line. Like if
that's
you're darker
crazy
than the paper bag, you're considered black. But if you're lighter than the paper bag, then you're considered white. So like people who are quote unquote mulatto would have more privilege than darker skinned people.
And you see it even in higher ups, man, when it comes to the structures in some of these companies. Instead of going off of worth, someone who's probably worked in a place for maybe 5 to 10 years, they're going to go hire fresh talent or somebody who's attractive because that person is like, oh, you know, they have this look or something. So it's crazy, man.
Yeah.
That goes back to slavery. It's colorism at the end of the day. The darker people are outside, the lighter people are inside. Man. Everything is rooted in slavery, sadly. Like a lot of America's laws start from slavery and then go to like segregation. Like you look at something as simple as like the banning of marijuana. If you go to the history of it, it's rooted in racism because they were like pushing these fake propaganda ads saying that if you smoke the marijuana, white women would want to have sex with black men. And it was also profiting the Mexicans because they were growing the marijuana, so they wanted to hit the Mexican community pockets by blocking it, and then they wanted to create fear amongst the black community by saying that white women are going to flock to these black men with marijuana. So that's the root to the ban of marijuana. It wasn't anything about it'll make you do this, it'll make you do that. It was rooted in racism.
It's the hemp. It was the hemp and the newspapers from the.
Yo, that's so crazy, man.
That's what it was. It's actually the hemp.
You see the situation now. That's $1 billion industry, and they're trying to do initiatives for some of these guys who went to jail for the cannabis crimes to come out and have opportunities to have ownership because, like you said, the minority is obviously not getting the same type of reception as, say, Joe Smo, who lives down the street. He'll get the loans and the opportunities to cultivate and create a very successful business, whereas minorities have to work harder for it, or because of the fact that they've had some sort of problem in the past, it's judged on that. And honestly, like you said, the one thing that we need to change in America is laws, but who's going to do that? Like, it costs money. So that's what I'm telling you. Like, if you really want to hit the border, you want to hit the gut, you want to hit the brain, stop hitting the body. You want to you want to go for it, hit the brain. Get all these guys who were paying Bentley. Reach out to all these dudes who got like the Bentleys. Reach out to all these trap guys who are showing all the money on their phone and be like, bro, like, let's ring up, man. We need like $2 million to fight this case. Or we need like $5 million to fight this case. Quick.
So this goes back to the 1937 Marijuana Tax Act. So that's where they banned it. So as you're saying, they're saying that it'll cause people to hallucinate, rape, and murder. And they're trying to portray that all towards like black men and Hispanic men.
Yeah.
That's crazy. It's always about fear. It's always about fear. But you know what it is, man? When you start to realize like that's how it is, the only thing you can really do is educate yourself, because education is the best tool.
Yeah, people refuse to be educated, though,
man.
Some people refuse to take in that information.
Yeah, but those who do know. And then sometimes, unfortunately, those who don't, they have to feel the brunt of it. Like you can't pull up people. You can't save people who don't want to educate themselves and be aware.
I'm sorry, man. I feel like there's a lot more dumb people than people who actually read and educate themselves. Because you gotta look at the environment that we're in. That you could just post something on Facebook. No one has to research it, but the topic of it just seems like it's a hot topic.
Not right.
They're like, okay, let's run with this. I posted this, and then this story goes viral without anybody doing any research prior to it. Like, for instance, the whole bring this back to Trump. He was pushing that Obama was not born in America.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody did any type of research with that. They
That's
ran
crazy.
with it, and then you have people with common sense research and see that he was born in Hawaii, but his fan base is like, nah, I saw this article on Facebook. It has to be real. I'm running with that.
But then you see the people who are smart thrive, bro. So sometimes you can't. It's like one of those things where it's like, when you know, you're going to be all right. And unfortunately, you can't teach these people if they believe what they believe.
I think dumb people have the numbers right now.
No, but I've learned in life, sometimes you have to
they
play
got
fool.
The numbers.
No, but they do. But unfortunately, in life, you have to play fool to catch wise. And the people who play fool to catch wise are the ones who tend to live and survive and thrive. And the people who don't, you see what happens to them. So there's nothing I can tell you about reading a book. If you don't want to do the math and you don't want to do the knowledge, you're more than welcome not to do it. But I will. And I'll save myself and I'll protect my family.
Does that go back to Darwinism? Survival of the
It's
fittest?
Basically survival of the fittest, man. You don't equip yourself, you're going to lose. If you want to continue, read, take in facts, not just people throwing stuff on Facebook. That's why for a while with the pandemic, people were sending me all of this bullshit. And I said, yo, stop sending it. I said, stop sending it to me. Another thing, I choose my medium. I don't watch TV to watch the news. I read it. Facts. Because what happens is, anxiety is caused by the news, the colors, the way they talk, the verbiage. Yeah, the verbiage. When 9/11 happened, they were on the same shit, like verbiage, things like that. Red alert, da-da-da, be alert, high alert, high alert. You know what that does? That just causes anxiety in your heart. You're just like, yo. So you know what you have to do to just kind of alleviate that? I have a news feed on my phone. It's called Feedly. I get all my stuff on there. I got my Toronto Star, I get my world news, and I read it at a pace that I want to. So that it's easier to accept that.
Let me piggyback on this. Like, I try to operate in the gray area. I don't really listen to far right news. I don't listen to far left news because everybody has their one agenda, and they're going to, like, let's say there's a story that paints a certain person in a bad light, they'll disregard that on either platform. So I try to find, like, that gray area and research my own news.
Yeah, exactly.
So I could get my own opinion before I run with a Facebook article.
No, I don't even read anything from Facebook. I don't post. Yo, don't post me nothing because too much of my friends were sending me DMs with the video and stuff, and I just had to tell them, bro, stop sending this to me.
Now, I don't know if you guys saw that video with that doctor, the lady who was saying coronavirus is fake and it's killed and illegal and all this type of stuff. Did you see that video, Akil? It was on Facebook. It got taken off YouTube. It's been taken off. Yeah,
that shit got removed.
Yeah, continuously removed off of a bunch of things. This is like information that's contradictory to what the information we're getting in the news. And that's another thing. You got to be like in the middle and actually research
very in the middle
and see who they are and see what the hell's going on and make sure.
And what happens is even with coronavirus, a lot of the people that are dying, they're not dying directly from corona. It's a lot of ailments that they've had all the time.
Yeah,
and they've never had an opportunity to check on them or take care of themselves in a way that they should. So a lot of the times when you're in poor health and you're in a country where you don't take care of yourself, like, of course, these things happen and they take you over. Like, for instance, Dave East, he has his artist, his right-hand man, his name is Shooter, and he just passed away from coronavirus, rest in peace. And it was a shock because he was young. He looks like maybe like 26, 28. So it's just like, okay, in this circumstance, it's like, what really happened? Was it that maybe your lifestyle and the things that you were doing before this or have affected that? That maybe the way you've been living your life have obviously kind of veered you in this way. You know what I mean? We don't know. He could have had ailments, asthma, a whole bunch of things that probably weren't looked about.
Hypertension.
Because he couldn't afford it. Because you know how it goes. The thing with Canada and the difference between Canada and America is like a lot of guys they can't afford the healthcare. This is like a goggles. It's like a big goggles. Like a lot of these people are dying because they can't afford fair healthcare, bro.
They're dying from high blood pressure, out of all things that you could prevent with healthcare and having a dietary plan.
Being able to get a physical every year. How much is the physical cost? You pay for a physical in America, don't you? You pay for all of that stuff.
With insurance, you're looking at like $20-$50. Without insurance, you're looking at about $250.
You know what I'm saying? So how many people have insurance out of versus the people who do have insurance? Maybe this should be a time that we We start rolling the flag and saying, yo, make affordable insurance for us. Make it affordable.
They tried doing that, and then the Republicans try to, stop that.
That's what I'm trying to show you. There's a deeper meaning to that. But that's what I'm trying to show you. There's a deeper meaning to it. Because when we come in Canada, we got a health card. If we get sick, we getting taken care of. So there's a way to regulate it. But the higher ups in the pharmaceutical companies, they don't want that.
But the counter argument that Americans always have with you guys is they pay so much in taxes. They pay so much.
Cares?
We don't want to pay. They have less people.
Go to jail for taxes in your country. What are you talking about? Nobody goes to jail for taxes here. No, but I'm saying nobody's going for no tax. Nobody's going to jail for tax here. A lot of people evade tax in your country. Would have been
thriving in Canada.
He would have been okay, but he would have been okay. Eventually, he'll get a fine. He's not going to jail. What's the point of sending a person to jail to pay a tax that they can't pay?
You're not going to be able to work and pay off the tax if you're in jail.
Bro, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life.
They don't want you to be able to survive.
They don't want you to make no money.
Capitalism.
They want to put you in jail for tax evasion.
And then they take your property.
Yo, how many guys have we heard this story from? Yo, Fat Joe, Ja Rule. Artists out of artists are always going to jail for tax evasion. So I'd rather be a Canadian and get taxed out the fucking wazoo than go to jail for tax evasion. Because that's just going to stop his money.
There's no perfect way.
He's a dual citizen. He just takes his bread anywhere he wants.
I need to do that. I need to work on
both are flawed. Both are flawed. I feel ours is a little better, but both are flawed. I honestly think with America and this whole supremacy thing, y'all gotta let them fail. Just let that whole.
We've been trying though, but they're thriving out here in these streets, man.
Because y'all are still buying all their products and shit.
Yeah, you're buying a lot of their.
The thing is, we don't know who is fueling that.
Yeah,
it's covert stuff.
Yeah,
it's like you can't tell who's who in those lines.
It's a fraternity.
It is definitely a fraternity of people who are powerful.
Fraternity of hate.
And y'all got to learn from that, though. Like all these strategies they're using, they're running laps on people. Y'all got to.
When you try to speak out on that, they'd be like, "Oh, this Negro's crazy." He's
but why?
I know.
Why are people running to the end of the street yelling this out? Why don't you guys? Why don't we all just create?
We can't organize because we don't own anything. If we try to do stuff on Facebook,
we don't own anything.
We don't own Facebook. Yeah. Facebook's gonna block whatever group.
Why don't we make it our own Instagrams?
Right.
I've been saying that.
Look how like the versus stuff that's going on is running Instagram. Tory Lanez running Instagram. These guys are getting numbers. The hip hop culture is bringing more numbers to Instagram and more profit to Instagram.
You know the thing is, the funny thing is, man, Black Twitter, Black Instagram,
Twitter.
It's all cool when it's all entertainment. Yeah. But when it becomes serious,
it's not.
Everybody veers away. Like, I don't want to. Yeah. No, you do political. It's like church to some people. When you start talking about church to some people, like, yo, I don't want to talk about church, yo. I don't like church. I want to talk about religion. I don't want to talk about it because it's just some people are just not ready for the real conversations and the things that are happening, man. They don't want to face it, man. It's the truth of the.
Let me backpedal back to coronavirus. So I'm not sure where, because you guys know I'm in North Carolina, so in the States. Mm-hmm. A lot of fuck shit's going on with people just dying. Like, let's say you die from a car accident. Certain hospitals are chalking that up under coronavirus, even though they didn't die from coronavirus. Recently, Mike Pence, he was at the hospital and he was delivering PPE, and it was empty boxes. So, like, what's really going on? Like, KC, we personally have family members that are being affected by coronavirus, so I'm not going to be one of these people saying it's not real and it's caused by 5G, but there's some sketchy stuff going on with it.
There's definitely some sketchy stuff because at the same time, you know what I mean? Obviously, they're probably being more incentivized than just to bring in these patients because, of course, there's higher risk for every head that you deal with that has the COVID-19. You know that you also put yourself at risk as a doctor or a nurse's aide or whatever you're doing. So, you know what I mean? It's a free-for-all right now. They're just probably just trying to get the cash up.
And the thing is, Black people are getting hit hard with corona here in America because
they're not doing the check on that here. They're not doing the check on based on race. We don't have the health care. We can't afford the health care,
so we're working these odd end jobs like Domino's and all this stuff, and we're putting ourselves out there delivering, or we're working at Walmart, so we're constantly out. And we're
also, you got to look at it, man. Some of these states, check out their minimum wage, man. If you can get like maybe a chart of like what the minimum wages across America, it's a joke. It's a joke.
I think 725.
If people all organized, if all the people at Domino's or at the supermarkets all organized and said, we're not going back in there until
I stopped day at work
with masks
Kroger.
and gloves.
We're not going to Kroger. We're not shopping in there. Whatever.
We're not working.
Is.
We're not working unless we have these bullet points of necessities at least.
Back to white supremacy. We have those groups who are mad that these people are quarantining and they want their barbershops open. Have you guys been seeing that?
Yeah,
these people with the guns coming to the Capitol buildings.
Yeah.
Could black people do that?
No way.
No. Come on now.
No way.
No way.
Those people are in people. I seen the pictures of them screaming in people's faces. Had that been a black man or something,
too, man.
Bro, it would have been a problem. It would have been a problem. Guys would have been getting crushed. It would look like in the 50s when they had like the fire truck with the water. They would use hoses on us, turn dogs on us. They just treat us inhumane. And sometimes I hate to be like, this world is based on color. I'm always trying to see from a colorblind situation. My mom was born and raised in Europe, so I have a different perspective of like these things. But because my mom was born in Europe, she's always told me to just be aware, do your math, do your knowledge. This is something that I tell anybody I'm around. Don't act like and don't accept. You know what I mean? Don't play dumb. When these things happen, a lot of the times we can do things to stop it, but where do we stop it? I don't think it's the protest no more. It's about the dollar.
No, it's about money. That's the only way you'll get the attention of white supremacists when you hit their pocket. When you stop going to Piggly Wiggly, that's when
you have educated moves, then it's a lot better. Like I'm saying, like the employees, for example, Domino's, if they all organized on a Facebook group and said, "Yo, we're doing this too. This is happening to us too," and they all
but sometimes I think
they organize their thoughts.
Stuff,
but I'll be honest with you,
and they say we can't. We
are
all not going in.
This is just like Jay-Z and Beyonce. How when they'll give donations, they never want to be tied to it, so you'll never know they give it.
Yeah.
This has to be done from an incognito type of move. Yeah. It can't be done because what'll happen is that they'll assassinate the person who's going to be the talker of it. They're going to assassinate the group. They're going to block off the things. So you just have to do it in a way where it's like money. No, you don't see me, where you can feel my presence. So when I'm away from you, because that's the way you do it. You can't do it in a way. There's no more like, I understand people are looking for like a Martin or Malcolm, but those guys got assassinated because of their voices. So we can't have a person be a speaker in that essence. We have to do it from an anonymous
We have to move covertly, just like the racists in the North.
Right. It has to all be covert.
We gotta be on code, but the thing is,
unfortunately, you gotta learn and adapt to the situation.
You have to know your enemy first.
Warfare, you have to learn and adapt.
But my thing is, this is what I deal with:
running in a knife fight against people with muskets and rifles. It's like
not all skin folk are your kinfolk. I deal with that a lot.
For sure.
And I'm sure the white supremacists have that same issue.
I know this.
It'll be your own people, man.
I know that already, man. Trust me. There's always going to be somebody like that who's going to put up the airs and try to just think that they're going to get further because they're buddy with this person or they talk to everybody. For instance, when I was in my workplace, I would just go to work, not say nothing too much, just stick to my work because I kind of understand the environment. Once you be friends with people, they're like, oh, that person is always stopping. It was like there's no reason for the friction, but they're always looking for something. And because I know that, it's the worst feeling to know that. You're like, yo, I'm coming here because I earned this. I work hard. Like, I come in, I do what I need to do.
Yeah.
But I always have to think to myself in the back of my mind, what is the perception that person has of me? So when I don't say anything, the only thing they can say is he's quiet. He's quiet.
I have the same issue. Like my job, I have my master's, and there are people that would purposely ask me if I was an intern or if I knew this. Yeah, I was just like, come on, man. Like, I got more education than you, but that superiority complex starts, kicking.
Yeah.
And they got to test me. Every day it's 21 questions. Do I know how to do this? Do I know how to do that?
Bro, it's just the whole situation. And you know what it is, too? They get this whole perception of us through
the media. They go off
fog
what
glasses.
They see on TV.
Media.
They think that's real.
Yeah, it's all fog glasses. They see a gangster or whatever. They're like, oh, all those guys are like that. All of them are trying to be like this or that. You know what I mean? Just fill in the blank of whatever rapper you want to be. But when they see us from that distance, it's just like, it's crazy because they're still very much into our culture. They still listen to our music. They still watch the movies that we watch.
They love our
still
sports.
Enjoy it. They love our sports. They love our athletes. So when it comes down to it, it's just like, okay, we need to change things. I was watching The Last Dance. That Michael Jordan series or whatever documentary. It's absolutely great.
Classic. It's classic.
But what I realized is that there's not a lot of black owners. Now things have changed. But even in the NFL, there needs to be more black owners.
They're fighting for that right now.
Yeah, I know. Because it's like, how come it's so hard? We have the money, we have the capital, we have the money, we're businessmen. You can do audits on our money and know it's been earned legitly, but you're trying to stop us at the same time. Because I know Diddy's been really trying to go for that. And
he wanted to buy the Panthers at one point.
Yeah.
The Carolina Panthers, and he got a lot of pushback for doing that. So it was just like the powers that be.
Now, what's stopping the people from making their own team? And getting their own people.
I don't know. Vince McMahon did the XFL. That was going okay until COVID-19 bankrupted them completely. But I'm just saying, like, if you could after all of this, why can't we all pool our money together
and create something like that?
Yeah, and I think that's like-minded people pooling their money together towards goals. It doesn't
Sometimes, what bothers me the most is that white people look at it like it's a racist thing to want to just see your black people do better.
No, it's not a racist thing.
It's not. It's just we want equality and fair equity to be like, yo, this is us. We worked hard. We want to be able to invest. Stop looking at my color and look at the power of my dollar and what I'm doing, the power of my influence. Our influence is so strong in everything we do, whether it be sports, fashion, even our education, certain things, but it's just like we never are credited for it. So it's just
we don't take the credit.
Get to utilize it, I guess.
Gotta take it. That's why.
That too.
Yeah. Sometimes like making things and they're just like, take this, check this cake out, check it out. Oh, you want to learn how to make curry? Or maybe teach you how to make curry. It's like, what the hell?
Kentucky Fried Chicken, bro. Come on, man.
Yeah, it's like,
you stole that recipe.
Yo, you know what I'm saying? Popeyes, like, even stop hemp. This. Like, you know what I'm saying? Hemp.
Like, well, Popeyes, like the commercials, they show you the general manager is this black actress pretending to be the general manager, but the real general manager and owner is this white lady. Mm-hmm. So why, like?
But the thing is, she learned the recipe from.
Of course, but I'm just saying, like, why in the commercials did they show this black lady as the owner when they know it's Becky and Karen that own Popeyes? It's a bait and switch. We need to do that for country music or something.
Well, we are doing it in a way because he got that guy. What's his name? Little Nas X or whatever.
They fought him so bad with that one song.
No, but you see, the situation is that he then came out of the closet too. So it's just like a duality thing where it's like, yo, it's a lot to digest at one. When he's black, he's trying to do like a different form of country music. Then he comes out and he says, I'm gay. And it's just like, yo, attack mode on him instantly.
LGBT
his credibility. And it was like, that's foul. Like, you know what I mean? If the guy wants to be what he is, let him be it. But it's so wrong. But shoot, man, I think about that stuff and I'm just like, man, it's hard. It's hard, man.
Y'all want to start wrapping this up? We've been talking for almost an hour and some change now.
Yeah, it was dope.
Man. So you got 2 projects out on Tidal, streaming services everywhere around.
Yeah.
You got some videos that you put out on YouTube. You want to talk about that?
Yeah, man. So I have my project. I recently released a project on the 25th of December. It's called Eastbound to Kennedy, and it's my story of growing up as a child, making my travels from Scarborough to downtown, and just little things that I seen in it. So I dropped that. I've been trying to drop and stay consistent, and I've dropped a few records. I dropped Flexing, which is another record, a higher energy record, produced by my boy Eastwood. Shout out to Eastwood. Eastwood's been like a very vital part of what I'm doing. I have another record called Fall Through, which is more of a ladies-based record. So I have that, and all those records can be found on all digital streaming platforms. Yeah. On Monday, so I'm glad I talked to you guys. On Monday, I'm dropping Elevate. So Elevate is finally dropping.
Nice.
So that's probably one of my favorite songs from you right there.
Thank you so much, man.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite ones.
All I've been doing is like on my
Calculated also.
Thank you
your
so
newer
much.
Stuff? Yeah.
Thank you, man. I'm just trying to step it up, you know what I mean, with the wordplay, with the production, with the mixing and the sounds. Besides that, I've been dropping these freestyles. So right now I have 2 freestyles. I dropped one called Headshots, which is just based on like the violence method. I was just talking about that, is that even during the time of COVID, there's still a lot of gang activity and people dying outside of the normal, like, you know what I mean? So it's like, I wanted to talk about that. Yesterday I dropped a freestyle based off of the Dr. Dre beat, Bitches Ain't Shit. Yeah. And it's just a freestyle where I made up a little story where it's a relationship, a woman's cheating on a man and he can't handle it. So I would definitely tell you to check those things out. I feel like Toronto, we need to do more story-based raps. Yeah. I noticed that since I've been doing these story-based raps, a lot of people are hitting me up and saying, yo, like, this storytelling is what we need, because there's a gap. We want to party, but sometimes we want to have something we can listen to too. So I'm looking forward to sharing stuff, and I got a bunch of surprises coming in the next few weeks, man. So
you got any activism work going on? Anything going on with the COVID-19?
Honestly, man, I've been laying low, man. I've been just confined.
You didn't have a song about Corona?
I do have a.
You have a socially conscious one.
Yeah, I have one called X-Files. It's gonna be coming out very soon. I'm gonna be shooting a video pretty soon in a few days.
Nice.
And I'm looking forward to dropping that. I wanted to just discuss, like, is there a bigger or deeper meaning for COVID? The fact that it's locked down. Obviously, we know that people are hurt, but I was thinking about it the other day. They've now extended the hours for LCBO. Everything when it comes to the government-based, we're cool. But when it comes to the Joe Blow who owns his own business, a lot of them are going out of business, man.
Yeah.
Like, they're not able to sustain. And unfortunately, who would be able to sustain when it's like 2 months, maybe a few weeks, but after 1 month and 2 months, it's a lot. So
yeah,
I wrote a record about that.
The guys who are renting out
gone, man. I can't even get my hair cut no more.
The dudes who are renting out these buildings to businesses want them out of there for years, and they want to sell and put a condo there. You know, those owners are hungry to get rid of that spot.
Supremacy. They got we finally got our foot on your neck.
Yeah,
so
because you know what it is, they tie them into the lease. You can't fulfill your lease now.
Yep.
Broke your lease. Okay, time for me to move and break that down
Toronto
to the condo
had
I wanted.
a nice little lock for people who are renting with their rights. It was super nice. Like, you could miss rent. You could, you get away with a lot. But now that this whole thing is happening, the renters aren't allowing them to miss rent for too many
capitalism,
times.
man, it's
they're
fun.
figuring out these loopholes to be able to get these businesses out of here.
Exactly, and this is what they've always wanted in the first place.
Because that's the bread and butter of Toronto, man. That's
because some of these places have been around for like 10, 20 years. So what it is, they're locked into a lower lease than a new person. Exactly. A new person, because they know the neighborhood is now trendy. Yep. Like, Trinity Bellwoods area there. Yeah. Like, I'm seeing lots of because sometimes we cruise downtown just to see what's going on. Trinity Bellwoods, like, a lot of those businesses are closing down, man. Yeah. And like that's an area where you're gonna probably see condos soon.
Yeah, they found the loophole. These businesses are
super sad, man.
And that's the culture of, like, one of the original things.
That's gentrification at its finest, though.
Oh man, it's so prevalent in Toronto.
Yeah.
The more that as time passes, the more prevalent it is. You're starting to see it on another level. Like, I have family members that live downtown, and we discuss this all the time. And they're talking about moving uptown because they're just like, it's just becoming ridiculous. They're not giving you space or value for your dollar.
Sounds like Brooklyn now.
It is basically becoming gentrified like that.
Same as Harlem, Brooklyn type of thing. Bronx. Yeah, man. So the projects are out. I saw somebody in our comics who said something. I don't know if he was talking to Akil or you. He's like, "Oh, you came on, you talk about the projects twice, and I've never seen that. The projects been out. They're out.
Projects have been out for some time, man. So if you get a chance, you can look out for the stuff.
Yeah, we will post links on that on our podcast page.
Yeah, man. Don Von Jovi's DonVonJovi. Yeah, you can find it on YouTube. You can find me on SoundCloud. Pretty much everything. Apple Music, Spotify. I know that I want to make a point of just continuing to be consistent, because you know what it is. Just building a rapport with the fans. They see something 1 minute, then you fall out there like they forget you. We live in a time where there's so much short attention spans. So we want to make sure that we put it out there. Yeah. So you got to be constantly either in their face or just constantly putting stuff out. So fortunately, with the team that I'm working with, we've been just building a nice little foothold of content and things to come out with. So you're going to definitely hear and see more music from me coming out in this year.
All right. Well, Donovan, it was a pleasure having you.
Always a pleasure, guys. You already know, man.
This was our Bacchanal news section where we just talk about music, politics, everything going on with that.
I wanted to ask you a question, though, but next time we'll get it up.
No, go ahead.
Okay, so I brought it up. With the new summer, right? Marvel always drops something every summer. Morbius was supposed to come out this summer. It's not going to come out this summer. It got pushed back to 2021 because there's no anticipation that this will change anytime soon. So the movie experience, how do you guys think personally that will be affected? Because, at one point in time, like, we'd be talking about a movie, like, you guys would always be on point with, like, did you guys watch this movie or that? And I see, like, the watching experience is going to change.
Well, there's a lot of things going on. Like, Universal right now, they made like $100 million off of Trolls 2, off of video on demand. They had it for $20. You get it for 24 hours. So families and parents are buying that up. But Universal had this, they had a deal with AMC, and AMC felt some type of way. Kind of felt like they should have like held out until the theaters opened back up. But at the end of the day, it's a business.
It's a business.
Universal has to make that money. So AMC now vowed to never show Universal films ever again.
What? That's crazy. AMC's huge.
Even though like in Universal Studios, like the main Universal Studios, they have like a big AMC theater there. Like this partnership has been going on for years. So you got that beef going on. You got Disney adapting with like movies. Disney Plus, and I felt like movies that they knew were kind of shaky. Like Artemis Fowl, they're just throwing that on Disney Plus. Yeah. Onward, it's been out for a while, but they threw that on Disney Plus as well. Black Widow, they pushed back the release date to November.
All content from Marvel like that.
Yeah, so the whole
it's all linear. So once Black Widow got pushed back, everything else got pushed back.
Exactly.
Yeah, so the whole timeline has shifted for Phase 3.
Yeah, but let's talk about the AMC. The AMC partnership with Universal that's huge. That's like Cruise. That's like two crews that have an agreement, and they didn't agree on that. Like Universal just said, let's slide this out, and they didn't first take into account the theaters being affected. So that's why AMC said we're not doing your movies in our theaters anymore, and they're getting other theaters.
You gotta eat though, man. Like shit.
To move, yeah, but
Universal,
you gotta partner up and say, okay, you're my partner. I can't live without you.
In the umbrella of distribution, though, man.
We gotta work this out.
Universal's huge, fam. But Universal is
Fast and the Furious.
It's a huge piece of the plate.
So are the theaters. So are the theaters, unfortunately. But the theaters are dying.
I know.
The theaters been dying from before this. So we're seeing what we saw, which the theaters didn't want the public, not us who actually go to movies and who are super aware of what's happening. Yeah. The actual everyday guy who's like a mother or dad who works all day and they focus on their kids and they have no time for this type of stuff. Those people are realizing, oh shit, I could get trolls on the internet. Why would I need to go bring my kids to the theater?
Yeah, you're right.
Pay $20 and the whole family can watch it.
When that everyday guy can be like, I could drop a $50 and instead of paying $100 to bring all my kids.
That's what I was thinking too.
Why do I need a theater?
Because I was thinking because the excitement with Marvel is going to the theater. You know what I mean? That's the excitement. They're still going to
be around. I think they're still going to be around
for sure.
In a smaller facet, but in a bigger way. Like I honestly think it's going to have the real small, crappy theaters still, and it's going to have the 1-2,
mega theater, like the
mega experience. Go in, you're paying $30 to see a movie each, probably.
Well, it's an experience, man. A lot of the times we're paying for the experience.
Yeah, but the experience is going to be like big. But we're going to be paying more than the $18.
Yeah, man, I know. Because I see like when everything comes on the even up and up, I feel like it's going to be a little more expensive to live.
It's going to be a lot more.
There's got to be some concessions for them giving this money through CRB. There's got to be like certain things, you know what I mean, a holdover. So it's an interesting time, man. Like,
but they're going to have to evolve their strategy to get people in. So like instead of just Tuesdays being $10, they're going to have to do like
2-for-1 specials. I do 2-for-1 specials
before 5 p.m.
Integrate the strip club with the movie theater, man.
Don't kill me, bro.
Like before
2-for-1 special right there.
Before 2:00, that little pocket, it'll be dirt cheap Monday to Friday.
Matinee time,
you know what I mean? Like
main times, like
and then prime time, it'll be more expensive. It'll be $20. You know what I'm saying?
They're gonna have to do some sort of thing because usually it's the concessions, like the food that really
popcorn
makes
is
the
where
money.
They make their money.
Popcorn and the goods.
Because they've been making a killing off of us from these damn popcorn and all that stuff.
Yeah, you already know. But that's
what we're doing here in the States is people are like driving up to the theater and they're just buying the popcorn. Just to support them and keep them afloat.
I've been trying to support a lot of the local businesses that I like. There's a few restaurants in my neighborhood that I really rock with. So instead of going to like other places, I'll just support them. It's good to just support what you like.
The local businesses here,
you know what I mean? So and they show love. When you tell them that you're really supporting them and you let them know like, yo, I really rock with you. You know, I know that this is a hard time. Yo, they even wanted to give you more food because they're like, yo, thank you.
I tip everywhere I go now. Like you gotta give them.
Show them something. You know what I mean? The power of the dollar, like we said.
Twice as nice a Caribbean spot on Kingston.
Yeah.
I've been trying to get in there. They have a lineup every time I pass.
Yo, man, I'm into Alwyn's right now, man. I like Alwyn's. Shout out to Alwyn's. Alwyn's is an ill restaurant.
Okay, I'm gonna check them out next.
Yeah, man. So they have the ill jerk chicken patty sandwich. So I get that.
Okay.
And it's like I always showed them like so much respect. I'm like, yo, I love your service. Thank you for like toughing it out because a lot of businesses are not hanging, man. They're like, yo, what are we doing in this climate?
But with the movie theaters, I could see it being the drive-throughs coming back.
I see drive-throughs coming back at a real way.
If they're smart, they'll partner up with like a Costco or something. So like after closing hours, then they'll have like a movie theater time. You can just drive your car and go.
All right, folks, I gotta wrap this up, man.
All right,
y'all forget I have kids and shit. Y'all talking about fucking patties and shit.
Sorry, man.
Sorry, bro.
He doesn't have Caribbean food in the South like us. Man. So he's hurting right now. He felt a ways when we brought that up. When we brought up the Caribbean food, he was like, "Yo, fund these guys, man."
Yeah, he just got emotional right now. He's like, Trini, can't get no Trini food here.
Yeah, man, he can't get no roti. He can't get no roti in the South.
My mom's my plug.
Yeah, right. Not like we have.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll go to Atlanta if I want all that.
Yeah, you got
6 hours for some food.
Nah, you're not doing that. Get out of here.
Exactly.
No, okay, I'll go to Charlotte. That's not too bad.
You do that.
Man, you might as well just ask your mom for the recipes.
Yeah. You still gotta start cooking that.
But yo, man, I'm not gonna hold you. It was a great time, guys, as usual. You know us, bro. That's why this kind of went crazy. But yo, on the up and up, it's good to see everybody, man. We'll be talking very soon, man.
Absolutely. All right, y'all. Y'all be
all right,
easy.
man. Love y'all.
Bacchanal Podcast. The next episode will be our Blerd edition where we cover Blerd news.
Yes.
So this is just, our politics, whatever, and then the next one's gonna be Blerd. So I want to branch out and hit everybody. So
that's dope.
That's what we do.
All right, guys.
All right, y'all be safe. This is Bacchanal Podcast. Peace.